I just barely survived Mexico, and guess what, folks? I handled it like a champ. Yeah. Hey
Fair
guys,
enough.
welcome to the Snatchcast. Somehow, I managed to get back here, and I went native apparently. So,
You
what's
went
happening,
native?
folks?
Why don't you show off? Show us them titties, boy. Show us them titties.
No. No one wants to see
Oh
my.
yeah.
No one wants to see me. No.
Okay,
No,
but
Yeah.
Semaj, you realize now you have to do a thumbnail of your character coming down the ramp with a luchador mask on like it's a fucking wrestling show.
Bagrid has returned.
Oh my! Oh my!
Fagrid in the Mask of Destiny.
Yeah, I may do that at some point, but I just got back. I just adjusted. I have some catching up to do. I have some commissions I need to get back to work on. I got shit to do. I'm home.
Oh, yeah, no, fair enough.
And let me tell you, you might not believe it, but I actually missed the snow.
Really?
I did miss the snow. As soon as I came home, I was like, snow, it's cold. I was surprisingly enjoying myself.
I don't get it though. You were bitching and complaining about the snow for months before you left, and now suddenly it's like, I miss it. I must have it.
You know what? I got homesick, dude. I was in Mexico for 2 months, and in that time, after the first month, the month of December, I got super homesick, and I'm like, I miss stuff. That was my downfall. You know why that was my
American words?
See, when I got homesick, I decided I needed something that makes me feel, it reminds me of home. So I looked around and I decided to eat a McDonald's. Good old Mickey, McDonald's. I'm a husky gentleman. I'm used to some McDonald's, so I thought, hey, I'll go there, and it was fine. They don't have the same thing we have. I had like their barbecue burger. I should have known something was up when the barbecue sauce tasted like peanut butter. 3 days. 3 days.
You sure it wasn't hoisin?
Now, it said barbecue sauce on there. I even asked the guy. He spoke English. He said, "Oh yeah, it's barbecue sauce." 3 days after that burger. 3. Food poisoning. Everything just kept coming out. It was... I actually should have been in the hospital because it was so bad. Oh my god, it was so bad.
What were the colors?
Okay, it was solid, and then for a brief time it went clear, then green.
I'm not talking about textures. I'm talking about colors.
You talking about the vomit?
No, the colors of everything.
It was food colored.
Vomit, Dookie.
Dookie?
Okay, you know what? Stop indulging the fucking fag with weird ass fetishes.
I don't know.
Tell me about the vomit. No, fuck off.
It was bad. It was not
what
good.
What color was your pecker when you took a shit into
Why is that even a relevant thing? Why? What is wrong with you? Who hurt you?
An octopus under a bridge.
I never should.
Too gay for this stream. Is what he is. He's way too gay for this stream.
He's too gay for life.
I suppose so. Yeah.
I've wanted to die since I came out.
What the? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Like normally people would just assume, oh, it's when he came out as gay, he's wanted to die, which is kind of fucking odd. But now I'm starting to think because this is Lionel, he could have meant anything. I've wanted to die since I came out of that car. I've wanted to die since I came out of my mother's womb. I wanted to die since I came out of my dad's ball sack. Which is it?
Yes.
Okay, that doesn't clear anything. Thank you.
Are there no bridges in your area? I mean, just go find a bridge. You'll be fine.
It's flat lands. There are no bridges. There's only hills.
Okay. And yes, Kadunda, I see you in the chat. I will get back to you. I have a lot lot of messages to get back to. Internet was not good in Mexico. Let me just tell you. The only time I ever really got good internet is when I went to McDonald's, which I immediately stopped going to after that situation.
Well, okay. First of all, it is Mexico. I don't expect them to have the best of internet. Second of all, what happened?
Well, after the food poisoning, look, it was Mexico wasn't all bad. All right, it was a beautiful country, great sand, beautiful beaches, and all that kind of stuff. Lots of sexy ladies in bikinis, and all. It was all great and all that kind of stuff. But that's boring. Let me tell you how I suffered, and I suffered through the food.
Any headless bodies?
Did they? Yeah.
Headless bodies?
Headless bodies? Yeah. Yeah, sure. Why not? I'm just indulging you. You need to understand. I stopped caring about what you said. I'm just going to say yes to everything.
Awesome. Okay.
Wait.
Did you get fucked by a jungle tranny?
Oh,
No.
God, no.
A
Stop.
Peruvian jungle tranny. They're a rare breed.
There are only two things that are sex-related questions that I want Semaj to answer honestly. The first one is, did you make the mistake of seeing a donkey show?
No.
Okay, good. The second is, did you get laid? Follow-up question, if you did not, did you at least see some titties?
No on both counts.
God damn it.
God damn it! What the fuck did you do in Mexico?
Did a lot of touristy things. Went around to a lot of areas. I went to their local zoo, which I do not recommend. It was depressing as all hell. Went to the gardens. Did some whale watching. Let's see, what else did I do? Got drunk. I remember getting drunk an awful lot because booze is good and cheap there. I mean, like you can get like a here in Canada like a bottle of, let's say, what's it called, Kraken, that spiced rum. It's about like $30 here. In Mexico, it was only about like $9.
Oh wow.
That was a huge difference. I had literally no excuse not to get. I could say, I can't afford it. Well, I can afford that. You get a nice big bottle of spiced rum. Yeah, why not? So I was selling schmeckle. I mean, alcohol is cheap and everywhere. Safeway or like any grocery store that they have there, they all have alcohol and it's all cheap. Convenience stores, they all have alcohol. Most restaurants, you can buy alcohol on your way out. You can get like it's fucking. The moment I stepped out of the airport, they gave me free samples of tequila, and they had alcohol you can buy. It's like it's everywhere, and cheap. So
was it worth the devastating food poisoning?
That was at McDonald's.
Yeah, I know. Was all of that alcohol worth it?
No. I will say this, though. 3 days of food poisoning, I was very much close to being beach body ready.
Well, I can tell.
I might be hefty now, but I mean, I slimmed right down. Like the skin around my stomach was loose. That's how much weight I lost.
Jesus.
Like a fucking cartoon.
It was insane how much I lost. However, after that, I was so paranoid. I didn't trust anything. I didn't go I only went to the handful of restaurants I trusted, who I haven't gotten sick from, and then the rest of it was just like convenience store processed packaged food because I know I could trust that because it won't give me food poisoning. That's and then after all that, like a whole month of January, that's what I did, and I just gained weight like crazy. Like all that I'm showing off here. I mean, I gained all that back because I wouldn't eat at any restaurant or anything like that. I mean, everything was. I was just paranoid of everything.
Well, I mean, you went to the fine restaurants, right? Like the fine dining places where you get the fancy tacos that are flat, and you get the paella and the nice little what do they call them? The little flans.
It's fine. Let's say, if you say fine, it mostly means that the waiters dress well and things are relatively clean. Once if you see into the back doors in the kitchen, it's not exactly world-class standards of cooking and cleanliness, let's say.
What a shame.
As far as I've seen in Mexico, a lot like their speed limits, they have health standards, but they're more like guidelines. They're suggestions. They suggest that you do this. They suggest you do that. They don't necessarily follow them.
I have a feeling that's just a thing with Latinos in general. Little Havana is absolute hell when it comes to traffic.
Yeah. It's not likely that they're gonna have good standards there. I imagine that nothing is up to code. Not even their building. All their houses and buildings that they have around there, nothing is really up to code. Everything. I was scared that like most of the buildings around me would just crumble and break. Which, if you went down to the downtown area, half the buildings there have crumbled and broke.
That's because the codes are in English and they no speak it as Spanglish.
Well, that could be it. I mean, like most of the buildings are just bricks. They're just bricks laid up on top of each other. And then when the rainy season comes in spring, some of these places just collapse because of all the rain that comes down because they're just not up to snuff.
Well, thank God you got the fuck out of there before springtime reared its ugly head.
Oh man, it's hot. It's hot there in the winter. Like for us, it's more like our summer weather.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go there in summer, it's going to be so hot you can barely do anything.
Well, that's summer for Canada. We're American.
Which part of America are you from?
The South.
The South. Does it get pretty hot there? I don't know. I know nothing. Yeah.
It rains in the winter. We either get rain or ice.
Okay. All right. So you don't know what I'm dealing with here. You don't know the layers of snow. Which, as soon as I fucking got back, the layers of ice on our on the roads and everything here, like I had to chip it all off. It took me like days. I'm sore from all the fucking ice chipping I do. It was like ice that was like 3 stacks of cards, like box of cards stacked up one another. That's how fucking thick it was in parts. And I had to chip it all off before they give us our mail.
God damn.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, haven't you guys like evolved your technology or shit to get used to that by now? Don't you have like I don't know, sleigh cars or some shit? Like you got like reindeer brigades?
Oh, dude, we Canadians have evolved thick skin. I can go outside without any clothes on and I'll be just fine. But it doesn't mean that ice stops existing. It just means I have to keep it.
Well, that don't mean like the ice stops existing. I'm not asking you to come up with a special kind of salt that keeps ice from forming. I'm talking about like have your cards and shit. Like if these fucking pussy bitch mailmen are talking about, oh, the ice on the roads is too bad for us to get the mail, eh? Well, get a fucking sled and strap your fucking dogs to it. Or do you Canadians have dogs?
We have dogs, but I mean, it costs money to feed them. So we just get cars like everyone else.
Why would you assume they didn't have dogs? What the fuck is wrong with you?
I don't know. Canada seems like a place where everybody has a couple of cats.
Well,
it's just North America that no one really wants to go to because it's fucking constantly cold and there's Canadians there.
And French.
And French Canadians.
We don't have to deal with the French. They keep to themselves. You know, I don't have to care about them. No, mostly what I do is I just keep chipping away at the stuff, throw on some salt, and like road salt or whatever. Let it do its
salt.
Well, yeah, whatever. I just throw some salt on it, wait for it to thaw out, chip at it again, throw some more salt on. It's a repeating process. I finally got it done, so that's good. But now I have to deal with the fucking mice. Been away for 2 months. The place is fucking infested with mice now.
Are they cute?
They're cute, but they fucking they poop everywhere. It's fucking
yeah. We've had mice before.
I woke up, or rather, I went to bed last night and I found mouse droppings on my bed, and I'm like, fuck, I have to sleep here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Part of me thinks that you should, in your thumbnail, also put a mouse head on Lionel's fucking face, just because. I have this weird feeling that you would have the same problem with Lionel if he was infesting your fucking house. He would just
come
poop
out
everywhere.
of my eye socket.
Poop on everything.
I just need to find one mouse, kill it, put its head on a toothpick, put it on the ground, and send a message to the other mice to get the fuck out of here. They're not welcomed here.
Or you can do what that one guy did and crucify them.
I could do that too. Yeah. You know what? Now that I think about being back in Canada, there is one thing I think I should invest in because I am Canadian. I should invest in one of those fucking flamethrower guns that the Boring Company makes from Elon Musk. Yeah, I'll get one of those flamethrowers and just I'll deal with the ice in no time. And I look cool doing it too.
I wonder how much one of those costs.
Oh, that's a good point. I want one. How much
And
are they?
is it like fueled by special canisters, or can you get a propane down at the Walmart? Oh, I'm sorry, you don't know what a Walmart is. Okay, Schmeckle or Semaj, a Walmart is a place where we go to get our food at reasonable prices.
They have Walmarts in Canada.
They do?
Yeah.
I thought they had like a, I don't know, knockoff Kmart or something.
Kmart is knockoff Walmart, you dumb shit. It's owned by the same company.
That's how bad Canada is. That's how bad I assume Canada is.
Canada is not bad. We just, well, we elect stupid people into our government, sure, but I mean we're not that bad.
Yeah, when's that gonna end, by the way? Because I hear
October.
October.
Federal election happens in October. Trudeau is fucking out.
Are you sure about that?
Wham, bam, straight to the moon.
Pot is legal in your country now.
Well, pot may be legal, but I doubt it's gonna save him. He's done for.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know.
yeah, this is the guy who, to try and appeal to Indians, dressed up as a Bollywood actor and danced like a Bollywood actress.
I think he was hoping to do that to distract him from the assassin that he brought to India. Did you guys not hear about that?
I did not. What you're gonna have to fill us in on that. I didn't know Canada had the balls to kill people.
Well, I assume that Justin didn't know that he brought him. I think he just sort of brought someone who was like from that country and thought, oh, hey, you can translate for us and all that kind of thing. And then when they bring this guy over there, the Indian reporters looked up on some pictures and they see this guy going, who's this guy next to the prime minister? And then look him up, and he was the guy on the wanted list in India because he tried to assassinate a politician there. And apparently, he just sort of disappeared as soon as this was discovered. But I mean, we believe that he sort of came back with the prime minister back to Canada. So,
and he didn't take out the prime minister in the process. Jesus fucking Christ!
Well, he got discovered practically as soon as he landed.
He could have killed Trudeau at least.
I mean, that would have. That would have been something. But yeah, no, like India doesn't like Canada. Whoever is in charge next, they have to do some major ass kicking when it comes to ass kissing when it comes to India. Because my God.
Oh God, ass kissing India. Jesus.
I know. That's the disease waiting to happen.
Oh God. It's like, yeah, God, it's just, oh.
Yeah, most people, because the media keeps showing pictures of him dancing and all that kind of stuff in India, but yeah, no, people who actually paid attention saw that no, he brought an assassin, so that wasn't good. Now it could just be he's an idiot, which he is, so maybe he didn't know. I wouldn't put that past him, but I don't know. I don't know what to say, man.
Your country is a parody of a country.
Our leaders are parodies of leaders. Fucking don't worry. He'll be gone. No one is gonna save him. He's gone as far as we can tell. Because
God, I hope so. Because I mean, Emmanuel Macron is on his way out at least.
Well, look, if Trudeau does manage to stay for an extra 4 years or whatever, if he does get reelected, I guarantee you, my province, Alberta, will secede for the rest of Canada and more likely join America. My mom, who doesn't believe this is going to happen, I believe it's going to happen if Trudeau becomes reelected.
I hope that happens because I want to respect you as a human being, Semaj.
Right? Oh,
I'm very.
That is. Oh man, I cannot believe I heard that from. Anyway, I could. Yes, no, I totally see us probably joining America.
Oh God, number 51. God damn. What does Alberta have? What do you guys have?
Oil.
Okay, I don't care about that. I'm talking about cuisine and shit.
Oh, I mean, we're very similar to America in a lot of ways, but we'll treat you to some bannock and probably maple syrup.
Okay, I'm cool with that. All right, let's get Alberta. We're gonna invade Alberta, Brockus.
They put brown gravy and cheese on fries.
Yes, that's genius.
No, no, I'm not dissing it. I'm not dissing it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not dissing poutine or anything like that. I'm just pointing out they're basically slightly unhealthier America because they take ideas that we do, like, you know, biscuits and gravy, and then they say, what if we combine fries and gravy and throw some fucking cheese on that shit? And all of Canada went, yeah, fuck yeah, let's do that. And America was like, let's try that too. Fuck.
I mean, yeah, there's no reason why you guys can't do it. We just serve it in our restaurants.
The ingredients are fairly easy. I mean, anytime I talk shit on Canadian cuisine, a non is eventually going to tell me, this is how you make poutine. This is how you make this. This is how you make this. And I'm just like, why the fuck does Canada feel like America 2.0, but they just make bad decisions that turn out really great anyways?
It happens. Look, the other thing to keep in mind is if you're an environmentalist and you believe that global warming is this big apocalyptic thing that's going to happen, you're going to need to go to areas with cooler climate. Well, who has cooler climate? Well, that would be Canada. And if you manage to get Alberta into there, that's a quick, easy access to cooler climate. And Alberta is a fairly large province, so we could probably house more than half the American population if we wanted to.
Okay, but do I have to speak fucking French in order to live there? I know you Canadians actually have border laws.
Yeah, no, fuck no.
It's not necessary unless you live in Montreal.
Yeah, the majority of most Canadians, like here in Alberta, do not speak French. It is like you have to go towards Schmeckel's neck of the woods to actually have that be a thing.
You have to be in Quebec and surrounding Quebec in order to actually have to fucking speak French. Otherwise, it's not mandatory.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't worry about it. Also, I heard that while I was away, I heard about the Canadian the Alberta seceding groups on Facebook and Twitter and all the other kind of thing. I looked into it and like this is a real thing. And according to some of these numbers, there's a lot of members in these groups, and they're probably mostly Albertans. So when I hear about this, I'm like, this could, depending on the amount of people, we could start up I don't know, get like a referendum going here. Maybe something will happen. This is like it's very close to becoming a very real thing. How? Yeah.
Under Trump's presidency, we get 3 justices, we get renegotiated deals, better jobs, and now we're going to get a 51st state that doesn't suck. Fuck yeah! God damn.
I mean, it's Alberta.
Well, yeah. Look, all of Canada sucks until it becomes America.
No. You don't understand. Do you know who lives in Alberta?
I don't. Oh no. No.
It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, but there's a certain couple that not a lot of people really talk about all that much, but they are fantastic. Logic and East Eth Original.
Are they in Alberta?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Dude, Logic has never
about somebody else.
No, Logic has never actually been shy of where he actually lives, what province he lives in, fucking Canada and shit. In fact, in one of his videos where he essentially calls out Armored Skeptic, he points out that Armored Skeptic lives in Ontario.
Huh.
Wait, yeah, Armored Skeptic is Canadian?
Yes, Armored Skeptic is Canadian.
Okay, I gotta hold on. I gotta unsubscribe.
Oh, Jesus. But yeah, no, Armored Skeptic is he's in Ontario, and while making comparisons, he was comparing Alberta to Ontario, and Logic pointed out that he himself lives in Alberta. So if Alberta becomes American, I'm just gonna be like, hey, Canada, think you're so fucking cool? We just took one of your coolest fucking YouTubers. Suck a dick.
I feel cleaner.
I feel cleaner. By the way, I just want to point out the Bitching Witch and Fakest and I think a few others have pointed out that Canada has milk in bags. You need to stop that.
That doesn't
Oh.
matter. That what? Okay, why does that matter? Does that change the flavor of the milk? Does that
probably?
I don't know. See, Bane mentions that all the time. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. All I know is like that's mostly a thing that you get if you go to something like a Tim Hortons, or in equivalents of you guys is a Dunkin' Donuts. You know, where you get your coffee. They have a little device that brings out the milk. I don't know. I've never seen any of these bags of milk in stores or anything.
People have shared pictures of it though.
Yeah, well, I've never seen. I'm a Canadian. I've lived here my entire life. I've never seen
parts. Brockus, I think it might be the faggy parts of Canada where all the French are.
No, maybe. A part of me thinks that if Anon was here, she'd be talking all kinds of shit and pointing out how we're wrong and all that.
Bitch, I'm from the South, nigga. I am from the South. Our cuisine will beat all y'all's.
Who? Your what?
Our cuisine, our Southern cuisine will beat all y'all asses.
You need to chill the fuck out. Look, Southern cuisine is tasty. Yes,
it is the best in existence, motherfucker.
I wouldn't say it's the best in existence.
It is the best in existence. Have you ever had chow chow on black-eyed peas with a ham hock tossed in there?
I think you're just making words up.
No, that's an actual thing.
I don't know if I
Wait,
believe
you guys have never had Tennessee chow chow?
I don't know what this is.
I think you're making words up here.
It's like relish, but better. It's like relish, but good.
You know what?
Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, have you guys know what a fucking Denny's is?
You
guys don't know what a goddamn Denny's is, do
we
you?
do.
God, fucking Christ almighty. Okay, do you
I
know
live in
what
California, you
sorghum
fucking
is?
idiot.
Do you know what sorghum is? Do you know what molasses is? Have you ever heard of blackstrap molasses?
I may be fat, but I don't know food that much.
Jesus fucking Christ almighty on a cockshell cracker. Jesus fucking hell.
Okay.
I feel like if we're going to be talking food like this, we need to get like some food people in here. So like we need to get Opal and we need to get Big Fat Brian.
Opal won't come on the
Opal's
show
not a food person. She's just a witch who makes poison.
No. Opal is kind of infamous on YouTube and Twitter, pretty much anywhere she is, for her very bad cooking.
I still remember her bukkake cake. That was
that was weird.
That was delightful.
No, if we were to do a cooking stream, a cook-off type stream or something along those lines, we need Wild Tanuki and Big Fat Brian on the show.
Sign me up.
And then I would also want the Killing Joke as well, just because like streams are always better with the Killing Joke. Just
oh God, he'd be the perfect judge.
He would
him
be.
An AP.
Oh man, AP and Killing Joke, fucking doing the goddamn judging of food. That would be amazing.
And we could get who is that guy? But the fridge guy, Billy the Fridge, the big fat one that used to be around here. Whatever happened to him? I'm sure he likes food.
Billy the Fridge, yeah, but he does a bunch of like weird ass stuff. He's always done weird ass stuff. Just follow him on Twitter and you'll understand what I mean by weird ass stuff. Bitching
I've
Witch,
only heard of him and I knew he was fat. That's why I recommended him.
The Bitching Witch is letting me know that she too can cook, and I'm just like, yeah, well, I'm not denying that. I'm just saying, like, let's bring on people that do the whole cooking thing, like Tanuki. By the way, if you have never experienced having food porn sent to you, go and hit up Tanuki and ask him about food porn, and he will send you pictures of shit that he has cooked himself, and it is fucking delicious, and he is the reason why I put fucking egg in my goddamn ramen now.
You never did that before?
I never tried it. I never thought it was an interesting idea and shit, and then like he just sent me one picture after another with a fucking egg and ramen, and I was just like, I have to try it now. Tried it, and I was just like, fuck yes.
It's really good. I've only ever had it once. I'd gladly have it again.
How do you Northeast, South, West Coast types even live? What do you eat, man?
Japanese food, Mexican food, fast food.
You're in California. If I'm ever in your neck of the woods, there's a sushi shop I want to visit.
Oh yeah, what's it called?
I have to figure out the name again. It's the guy who runs it has a YouTube channel. And he makes a lot of seafood related stuff, and you could watch him as he like kills a lobster right in front of you. Or watch as he prepares like a shrimp sushi, which they're very much alive. So I see the video and went, oh, that's neat. That's interesting. And a little disturbing when you think about it, because I watch him as he takes the shrimp. They're still alive, cuts off their heads, put them in a bowl, and he starts preparing the sushi with the food and stuff on there. And shrimp heads, you could cut off their head; they'll still be alive for quite some time. And so as he prepares the sushi, he puts the sushi on top of the display thing because they're ready to go, and the heads are still alive. And people are like, don't you think that's morbid? That's their body right next to their head. They're still alive. It's like, oh, you think that's bad? And he puts them in like a powder and immediately deep fries the head. Went, oh, wow. This is metal as fuck. I think I want to go to this place.
Well,
Brockus?
yeah, I think I would like to as well. What?
Brockus, when really real America invades California, that will be the first place we take.
Yeah, no, nuke this whole fucking state.
No, we won't nuke that place. We'll
nuke it. I don't care if I've even left the goddamn state. This place needs to die.
Except for that sushi place. The metal sushi place can stay.
I have to at least go there first, and then you guys can nuke it.
That's fine.
Well,
Semaj, I'm just saying, just pointing this out. VidCon is right around the corner now.
Ooh, how much? Where's VidCon again?
VidCon is in Southern California, specifically Anaheim area. It's not specifically Anaheim, but it is in that general location. It's in Orange County, essentially.
Is that the AIDSy part of California?
Kinda.
Never mind.
Well, I say AIDSy part of California because there are two main locations where the gays just cultivate. And since California, it's no longer a federal fucking offense to, just lie and spread AIDS and shit.
Well, tell you what, if we can somehow find a way to raise $400, because it's $350 for me to get a flight down there, we could raise money. I might consider it.
Well, you would also need a hotel room because you can get all 4 days off. I recommend it. And the reason why I'm saying this is because, do you know who else kind of confirmed that they're going to be going to VidCon again this year? Poisoning the Well.
Oh, I was expecting you to say Failure.
No, I didn't.
Because I still remember, legend has it, he runs around with gummy bears.
Yeah, when I met Failure at fucking VidCon, he had been given a bag of gummy bears that were special
a bag of gummy bears. Gotcha.
And he was fucked up on them when I met his ass.
Yeah.
Were these gummy bears laced with alcohol or LSD?
I think it was some kind of drug. I don't think they specified what it was, though.
Rumor has it was some sort of like pot related something or other. So I love to see Failure walking around offering gummy bears to people. I'd be like, oh, Failure, you son of a bitch.
Well, actually, Sestra is saying, don't do a hotel, do a fucking Airbnb. And they do actually have fairly quick and an abundance of Ubers and Lyfts out here. So wouldn't be too much of an issue.
Like, I totally consider it. I mean, you have to find some way to do that. And
you can start, you could do a GoFundMe. Get Semaj to VidCon.
Get Semaj to VidCon. That's an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Out there, meet with some people. What? Maybe I can meet my senpai, Logan Paul.
That would be interesting. I don't think you wouldn't be able to meet him at VidCon because he's been permabanned, but still, it'd be an interesting thing. Yes, he was
gone.
The same year I went to VidCon, Logan Paul ran through the fucking massive crowds and eventually went through some kind of a fountain. That was where the big play button was and everything like that. And then, of course, he had his 10 grand scavenger hunt, which actually was fake 100% and shit. And because of all the stuff he did on the first fucking day, he got kicked out permanently.
Oh, okay. Well, rightfully so. I remember that he had a small crowd of like teenage girls ready to strip him of all his clothing and then belongings. I remember seeing that going, oh, God. I don't know who you are, but I want you gone already.
Brockus Semaj DMs and Twitter.
What? Oh yeah. Oh god, there's so many DMs. Where? Oh, you sent me
For
something.
everybody else, check Twitter.
Food porn. Okay. All right. I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
Why do you? You know what food porn is? Why would you do this?
I thought that was food porn.
No. What we said, motherfucker.
I take things literally.
You do, you autistic faggot. I swear.
You should be ashamed of yourself, buddy.
Oh god. Pot gummy bears. Oh yeah, I think it was pot gummy bears specifically that Failure ate and ate too much of. Hence his state of I don't know where I am. Am I standing? Like Failure didn't know if he was standing or sitting at one point. It was funny. He was so fucking high, but nobody knew because he was just real quiet. And then eventually it started wearing off. And then he wasn't really drinking with poisoning the well and myself, but like, you know, he kind of came around at some point or another. But still, High Failure was fucking hilarious because that dude didn't know what the fuck was happening at all. He was Towley from fucking South Park. I have no idea what's going on.
Hot gummy bears soaked in alcohol laced with LSD.
Oh, bitching witch is crying right now because she's never going to be able to go to VidCon. Unfortunately, because of her situation, she wouldn't be able to actually have the time for a several-day mini vacation to come down to fucking VidCon. Sadly.
Why is she like banned from the country?
No, she's not. She lives in Arizona. What the hell? No, she's got kids, and she wouldn't be able to actually take a mini vacation because she would like need to basically get the money together, actually get time fucking away from everything in Arizona. And she just can't.
You know what this means, right?
Huh?
You know what this means, right?
What?
Kidnapping?
No, we take VidCon to bitching witch. I'm not a criminal, Semaj. No kidnapping.
I question that from time to time.
Fair enough.
But you know, the thing is if we took VidCon to the bitching witch, the only thing that would be necessary is we would hit up bitching witch and say, who do you want to come to Arizona? Because it's just going to be a giant fucking party for like, I don't know, a day or two where we all like rent out several Airbnbs or maybe even just, you know, a hotel in general and just get completely fucking hammered because that's pretty much all VidCon really is.
Well, hold on a second. You're in California. You're like right connected to Mexico, so you can get the cheap booze.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm just saying.
Unless we get a state of emergency and the border gets shut down.
Oh well, who knows? I mean,
we got like half a week left, right?
Maybe, I don't know
until it shuts down again.
But what do you mean, the government? I've been out of things a lot. What are you talking about?
Semaj, okay, the government was shut down for over a month, Semaj.
Yeah, I remember that.
They temporarily opened it back up for like 21 days, and I think we're halfway through that. Also, Ruth Bader Ginsburg has been missing for 42 days.
Really?
So, yeah, everybody thinks that she's dead. Yeah, crabs are dancing in the distance, waiting for the cue.
Okay.
And Trump is getting ready to I mean he's had one justice, he's had two justices, and now he's, you know, number Trace is on the way. One justice, two justices, three justices,
I'm pretty sure, like, by the end of it, he's going to get his wall. I don't know why people are even bothering to fight right now.
Oh, no, they are determined to not allow him to have his wall. They will. Dude, at one point, towards the end of, you know, the fucking government shutdown and shit, I don't know if you saw this, but Nancy Pelosi even did a fucking, where they stand there and they talk to reporters.
Filibuster? No.
You can stop Nancy Pelosi easily with a filibuster. All you got to do is set a box fan behind her.
Fucking Christ, why is my brain shut down? Anyway, she talked to reporters about it. Nancy Pelosi was so 100% against Trump getting his wall in any way, shape, or form that she consistently said she would keep the fucking government shut down because she doesn't want to give him anything he wants. It was this whole thing. A lot of people actually made this fucking argument in the beginning of the fucking government shutdown saying, like, Trump is shutting down the fucking government because he wants his wall and give me my wall. And they started calling him a baby and shit like that. Well, the government kept shut down because even when he was compromising on fucking price, when he was compromising things, he was even offering them shit like, I'll extend this for longer. We will do this for you. He was trying to make as many fucking compromises as possible. All he wanted was the fucking wall. And Nancy Pelosi and the other fucking Democrats basically said, no, you get nothing. And then did a fucking goddamn, what the fuck are they called?
She played right into his fucking hands is what happened.
It was a press conference. Nancy Pelosi did a press conference where she confirmed she's a fucking cunt. So that's what fucking happened.
In short, she played right into his fucking hands.
No, she didn't play into anybody's fucking hands.
No, think about it this way. Think about it this way.
Lionel, just because you and I can actually see the dumb fuckery that she has just pulled does not mean that a shitload of people out there that we know will willfully ignore obvious bits of information and facts.
Willfully ignore the fact that she said that she's going to shut down the government just to spite Trump.
Basically, that is what she was saying. She's going to keep the government shut down to spite Trump. That's what happened. And then it's coming back for 21 days, but it will get shut down again, and she will keep it shut down because she will not give Trump anything she wants, because Orange Man bad no matter what anyone tell her.
Yeah.
How old is Nancy Pelosi again?
Dead. She's pretty much 1 foot in the grave at this point.
No, we know Ginsburg's 1 foot. She's dead, but I mean Nancy Pelosi, let's see. You guys keep talking. I'll look up her age.
She's slightly younger than fucking Elizabeth Warren.
Oh, man. She's still got at least 30 years. God damn it.
Spectacular is saying, we already knew she was a cunt. And you know what? That's true. That is true. We already knew that Nancy Pelosi was a cunt. Like, that's not new to anybody at this point. And to be honest, I don't understand why people are so against the wall, because, you know, the Democrats were for the wall at one point. Nobody had a problem when Democrats were in office. Nobody had a problem when Obama said, let's actually improve border patrol. Let's get a wall going. Shit like that. I mean, I don't think he specifically said he wanted a wall, but, you know, a lot of people kept saying, what about a fence? Fences are nice, and they do the same job as a wall. But, you know, a wall, I feel like a wall is more necessary because it's sturdier. It does its job better.
Giant concrete wall with gold leaf on the sides, a nice giant T and a middle finger right on top.
Are you trying to keep Canadians out?
No, I was thinking for the southern border we have that, and on the northern border we have a more Mordor-looking wall, and we have every 50 feet that line it, and automatically go off every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Not even like shooting anywhere, just shooting anything that moves. Birds, bears, Canadians.
Don't. No, that's a bad idea. Let's not completely kill all the Canadians. There are a lot of Canadians I like.
Wait, does Alberta border America?
No.
Kinda.
Do the borders do the borders touch tips?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much the majority of most of the provinces are directly connected to America.
That's going to be a weakness in our defense. God damn it, because I don't want to kill anybody in Alberta if we're going to make it ours. So let's see. We gotta. God, we're gonna have to expand that wall, turn it into a fucking horseshoe. God damn it! Why do you guys have to be so inconveniently located?
It
Maybe
happens.
if we have like a tower right at the tip, like a giant fucking tower, like they got in Dubai or some shit, and just fortify the fuck out of it with solid steel.
You know what?
Alberta does actually touch the American. Oh.
Oh yeah, we do. You know what? Walls are good, and walls can be very beneficial and everything. And a wall, and I know some people might not feel this way. I know, Raucus, you have certain feelings about this, but we should probably set up a wall to keep the supernatural threat at bay. And I know that we have some friends, Ghastly and all that, who sort of play into all this, but we need to do something. And I think we have some pioneers, up and coming pioneers, that have showed us the way, and that way is Ghostbusters 3.
Do you know the way?
That meme is dead, Brockus.
It is not dead in my heart.
Shapiro killed it.
It is not dead in my heart because I know the way.
When I was away, the news dropped that Ghostbusters 3 is finally happening. I can't begin to tell you how fucking excited I was about this. Fucking blew my
The
mind.
news you got about it, though?
Well, we did find out that the majority of the cast is going to be new faces, and it's going to be young people. How young?
I meant what they did with the 2016 Ghostbusters.
We don't talk about that. That doesn't exist. This movie
that's exactly the attitude Ghostbusters 3 is taking.
Yeah, this has nothing to do with that, and I'm quite excited that there's going to be no connection whatsoever. I am disappointed because they did say that it's going to be a lot of young people. I'm disappointed by that because I have zero faith that this is going to be good because young people.
Well, don't they have the same the director or something, or the director's son?
The director's son, yeah, and the original director will be advising, like he'll be a producer and all that. I'm sorry, I kind of don't want a Ghostbusters with a bunch of young people. I would rather have unless the old crew is still going to be there and teaching the young, maybe, but they didn't say that they would. As far as we can tell, none of the original cast has been signed on to come back on, with the exception of I think Dan Aykroyd, but he's been wanting this movie to happen for a long time. So
yeah. From what I understand, I think even Bill Murray, though, is most likely going to actually appear in Ghostbusters 3. And Ernie Hudson would jump on that if he fucking was approached, which they need to approach him if they're going to continue with this. Because let me put it to you this way. I still stand firm, along with Ghastly and several other people. Stop continuing franchises that have been over a decade dead. Stop it. Just fucking stop. Look, Ghostbusters 2, as entertaining as it is, I understand why it's actually a bad movie. Ghostbusters 1, fan-fucking-tastic. Couldn't ask for a better goddamn movie. It's perfect. Leave it as is. We don't need another Ghostbusters movie. And Hollywood needs to stop trying to fucking jump on any bandwagon they can from the fucking 80s, from the fucking 90s, from any property that was really, really fucking popular at one point because they're tapped for ideas. Stop it. Fucking stop it. But if they're going to go with this, if they're going to go forward with this, Ernie Hudson, Bill Murray, and Dan Aykroyd absolutely must be in the movie, or they must be written as dead alongside with fucking Egon Spengler in a very respectable way, because I want, if they're going to continue, I want a good continuation. I want it done right. I want it given justice. I don't want to see what happened in the Star Wars prequels. I don't want to see what happened with the latest Star Wars movies since Episode 7. I don't want to see what happened in 2016 when a reboot to the franchise was given to us and the world rejected it and everybody kept saying, well, that's because you're sexist. No, it's because your movie's shit.
I'm going to be, I have a little bit more of a generous view on everything. I think that the big problem that's gone on is that studios, because movies have become increasingly more expensive to make, and a lot of studios don't know what to do when it comes to all this. And it's a lot easier to take a beloved franchise and make new movies of that, because it tends to prove that you make more money that way. it's just been a thing because you got fans of series who will go out and watch something because of the nostalgic feels that it brings. And considering that life is getting a little bit more miserable for a lot of people, like, you know, unemployment, like in my province, like unemployment's going up and people are losing jobs, divorce is at an all-time high, and life sucks right now. And so nostalgic feels like Ghostbusters, or any of these other reboots that happen, these will make money, pretty much guaranteed. But the people who are making these movies, they don't want to make these movies. I guarantee you, virtually everyone who worked on all the Star Wars movies, they didn't want to make those movies. They signed on into filmmaking to make their own properties. But the studios are scared to spend money on new stuff because new stuff doesn't really bring in a lot of money. It just doesn't. You have to bring in older properties.
Well, yeah, look at what happened to the fucking John Carter shit. Look at what happened to fucking Jumper. Look at what happened to God, what
Jupiter Ascending and
Jupiter Ascending.
You need to stop. You need to stop right fucking there, because you are using really terrible fucking examples. Okay. But Jumper was terrible in general, because if you actually watch the movie altogether, you kind of feel like a young adult novelist akin to that of Twilight writer fucking wrote that story.
I'm not talking about movies being good, not making money. I'm talking about movies being treated like they are good and being new movies. All of that effort going into advertising it like it's the next big thing, and then it goes to shit right on release because it was shit from the start. That's what
that's because marketing doesn't know what the fuck they're doing anymore.
Well, and all that I'm saying is that they've attempted to make new original movies, and they've almost all flopped.
Really?
Well, what's an original movie that's done well?
Right.
Yeah.
The Netflix movie?
Yep. Did really fucking well.
Well, it's a little harder to say. You're right. It was popular. I don't know how popular because it's a streaming thing. We can't get numbers on that because they keep it locked up. We're assuming it did well. We don't know that it did well.
You cut out when I. What
sorry. What I was saying is that if you're looking at streaming, they're very hard to get numbers on because they don't release them. Box office grosses, those are available, but streaming is a different kettle of fish. We don't know how well we really don't know how well Bright did.
A Quiet Place, realistically, is a much better movie than Bird Box, despite what everybody wants to try and fucking say. And it did really fucking well. It was an original movie.
Was that on streaming as well?
No, it wasn't on streaming. It released in theaters. I saw it the month it came out. I don't think it was the week it came out, but I saw it. Okay, really I didn't.
I thought that came out on Netflix.
No. Bird Box came out on Netflix.
Oh, it did. Okay.
Yeah, they tried to push that forced meme.
Was that a thing?
It was like an advertising thing, hashtag Bird Box, and every paid shill would put on a blindfold and do some shit that was like the movies.
Oh, somebody's in the chat trying to fucking challenge me, saying that A Quiet Place was a stupid movie. Really? It was a stupid movie. Okay. Name me a better monster movie in the last 10 years or a better horror movie in the last 10 years. I'll wait. Because
Ghostbusters 2016 was pretty horrifying. But
it's horrifying if you're a movie producer.
Oh, yeah.
It was horrifying if you were a movie goer.
Well, yeah, I actually did spend money to go see it. Boy,
I did too. Well, no, I didn't actually spend any of my own money. The only reason I saw it in theaters was because me and some friends were doing a movie review channel at the time, which is completely dead at this point. And they also told me, I will pay for your ticket. And I said, okay, fine. I refuse to give this fucking movie any money. If you're willing to shell out an extra $10 for me, I hate you still, but I'm willing to do this. It sucked.
Oh, I had to take the mask off. I'm sweating this storm.
Tokyo Gore Police, didn't even hear of it. I Saw the Devil, didn't even hear of it. If you're referring to B movies or low budget films that probably went straight to DVD that nobody has actually heard of, you're clearly fucking nitpicking at this point,
Well,
because you're going for movies that didn't get any advertisement, that probably didn't have any kind of major studio behind it. You're going the independent route. This is like asking, name me a better superhero in the Marvel or DC universe than blank character, and you bring out a character from fucking Top Cow. Calm the fuck down. You clearly went to a certain location for your answer.
Well, and I think like the last really good horror movie that came, or like more recent one, let's say, I think, was it the Friday the 13th, the one with Jason Voorhees?
It did terrible.
Really? Last I heard, it did well. It didn't do well the
tried to
first
do
week.
a Predator reboot that turned into shit.
Oh man, everything I've heard
Didn't
about
they try and turn it into an action comedy?
Yeah, well, here's the thing that's
it's a Japanese movie. He went to a fucking different country for his goddamn thing. I'm gonna tell you right now, if you really want to watch a good
I've got an answer to your question.
If you want to see a really good, like, well done horror movie that's like akin to, you know, the horror movies from the 70s and 80s, and like it's just filled with gore and all kinds of craziness, you might want to check out Japanese horror or Korean horror, because they do some pretty good shit over there. Sometimes the shit's a little bit on the confusing side, but, you know, again, it's akin to like the classic 70s and 80s when horror was great.
All right, Brockus, I win. Okay, you said tell you a movie that was legitimately a legitimate, like, what was it? A legitimate horror movie?
Yeah, a legitimate horror movie that made its way into, like, you know, the silver screen and got advertisement, all that stuff.
Okay, Silence.
Silence.
Yes, it had Andrew Garfield and Adam Driver and Liam Neeson. Okay. It was the one about the monks who went to Japan and who saw Christian persecution up front. It is a fantastic.
Oh, I did see that movie, but I wouldn't call it a horror movie. No, that's a suspense thriller. That's also a period movie and a historical movie, because that's based off of literal historical events.
Yeah, but it's still okay. Fuck.
It is a great movie. Don't get me wrong. I watched that shit and I was fucking enthralled. It was fantastic. Adam Driver was great. Andrew Garfield was fantastic. Liam Neeson kind of surprised me with how well he fit in that role. But still, it's not the same, because one is a legitimate monster horror film. The other one is a period movie. It's
what was that one with Mark Wahlberg and the Great Wall of China? That was a monster movie.
The Wall? That movie sucked.
Okay, never mind.
I think we're sort of devolving there. I was going to ask about like horror movies. Like, what was a good like original horror movie that came out recently? And when I think about it, like, horror's kind of gotten the shaft last couple of years. There hasn't been really much in the way of good horror movies being made. I mean, B movies are one thing, but they're B movies that don't get much in the way of notification, like the advertising and promotion. It goes on DVD and then it gets like maybe a cult following years down the line.
Yeah, the occult followings are always strange. It's usually properties that did terrible in their original release, and then a few years down the line, somebody picks it up and just spreads it all over the internet like cancer.
But like, there's not to say that there weren't some good horror movies. Like the remake of The It did really well.
That's not an original idea.
No, it's not an original, but it is a horror. It's one of the few ones that came out that did well. If one was talking about horror movies. The other one was, of course, like the Friday the 13th one I mentioned earlier. I know you don't think it did well. I don't know. I heard it did really well. But then again, I should probably double check on that. I also looked up on movies coming up.
Wait, no, wait. Are you actually thinking about the official sequel to the original Halloween movie?
I'm just talking about the one that came in like recently in theaters.
Yeah,
that was the one with that old chick.
Yeah, I thought that it was like a sequel.
The old lesbian, yeah.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah, that lesbian.
That was Halloween, not Friday the 13th.
I get these horror movies.
Michael Myers.
It's fine. It's fine.
Okay. All right.
And yes, that did really, really well. A lot of people really loved it, and it's the official sequel to the original Halloween movie, because in the original Halloween movie, Jamie Lee Curtis's character was never actually related to Michael Myers. They re-released a different version of Halloween. I think it was a year later, and that was the one where all of the Halloween sequels sprouted from.
Right.
Anyways, we have a Streamlabs real quick. Joseph Kerman for $3. I can't wait to see Memphis Nest origin story. Is that the one where Zac Efron is playing a serial murderer rapist?
Which one? What's it called again?
Memphis Nest.
Is that
EMPHIS.
the one about Ted Bundy?
That sounds familiar. I'll have to look that up. Okay, I did also want to say there's a couple of other horror movie remakes coming out, which one of them, as far as I can tell, isn't getting any traction. So I think they've.
Nope, I know what it is, and you're a bastard. You're a bastard for that, Joseph Kerwin. And Memphis Nest is actually, he spelt it wrong, but it's that's the character from Solo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
all right, my bad.
You're a bastard, Joseph Kerwin. How dare you?
Good trolling there. Good trolling there, my friend. Good trolling. You got me.
Oh, man.
One of the movies coming up. And I don't know if you guys tell me if you guys seen a trailer for this. The remake of Pet Sematary.
Yeah, I don't understand why they're doing that.
But have you seen a trailer for it? I
haven't. I heard about it and I saw a screenshot. Apparently, instead of Gage, the little boy, they're going with a little girl, and it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, if this is another movie that just so happens to exist in the same universe as Pet Sematary, like kind of like it's not so much a reboot as, I guess it's a technical sequel, but it really has no official connection to the original. Fine, but if you're just completely rebooting it, then you know what? Go fuck yourself, Halloween. You need to stop. You need to be stopped. Fuck you.
You know what they need to do?
What?
They need to get Clive Barker to write a script, and they need to get Guillermo del Toro to do the art, and have them come together with, I don't know, some kind of horror producer to make a movie and throw all the money at them. Just all the fucking money.
Oh, could do that. I did want to say, though, not to get too far off track of Pet Sematary, they probably have zero faith in this movie. And the reason why I say that is because it shares a release date with the DC movie Shazam. It comes out the same day as Shazam, April 5th.
Is Shazam even going to do good?
I think it will.
I think it will. I think it's going to do great.
Okay.
I think DC or Warner Bros. Is finally getting their shit together and making good movies.
Well, it's not just that. Like, okay, I've been saying it for a long time now, and I will continue to say it until somebody who probably does have the ability to do something about it in Hollywood finally fucking understands what me and probably the majority of their fans have been saying for a long time. Stop depending on certain bad directors, bad producers, just because they have a name. Stop fucking depending on bad fucking actors just because they have a name. And definitely stop depending on the holy fucking Trinity. You have thousands of other characters, thousands of other properties you could be doing movies on that have proven to be successful in spin-off TV shows and other things. But you don't do anything because you can't seem to sell anything that isn't Batman, that isn't Superman. Fucking stop, Detective Comics. Stop it, DC and Warner Brothers. You both need to fucking take a step back, sit the fuck down, and let people who actually know what they're doing just do what they fucking need to do. Look at what happened with Aquaman. A lot of people kept trying to say that Aquaman is basically that the entire trailer was nothing more than a ripoff of Black Panther. Well, that could have been a fucking coincidence. Then you watch the movie, it was better than Black Panther, to be honest. It was actually good. Now, I still, as a fan of comic books and as a movie fan itself, there were parts where I'm just like, that was kind of dumb. But at the same time, it was fun. It's a fun comic book movie. Was it the best comic book movie they did? Actually, and with DC's catalog, yeah, Aquaman is probably their best movie right now. Shazam is probably going to be better than Aquaman because it's probably going to be exactly what Shazam needs to be. A fucking 10-year-old, no, a 12-year-old's mind in a fucking adult body. What do you think it's going to look like when a fucking 12-year-old or a 14-year-old suddenly is a full-grown adult and can actually punch a hole in a moon? I'm pretty sure it's going to be really fucking fun. I'm pretty sure it's going to be really interesting. And you know what? It's going to be very heartbreaking when some bad shit happens and you've got to watch adult-bodied. Oh my god, I'm forgetting his fucking real name and shit. But basically, when Shazam actually has to, like, you know, grow the fuck up real goddamn fast.
Indeed, I don't. I'm sorry to be stuttering on this. I think that Shazam's going to do really well. I think the next couple of DC movies are going to do really well. After that, I don't know, because there have been some the producers who were in charge of setting up this little DC universe was this team. These two guys who I can't remember their names, but they got fired. Now they've had some success movies because they're essentially they're the ones who like set up the whole actors and then you know confirmed on everyone who's working on the Aquaman movie. It was essentially them setting these people up to get together, and Shazam's going to be about the same way. But then they got fired, and I think they got fired because there were some floppy DC movies, and they needed like they needed some people to get fired, like a sacrificial lamb. And they were on the chopping block because they were the new guys, and their movies hadn't been tested yet. Now the movies are out, and they're super successful. I'm like, oh, you guys made a bad move on that one. I get to recheck out the bits on that to double check it. But I did also want to say that April is going to be one hell of a month, because the week after Shazam on Friday on April 5th, that Friday, on the 12th, Hellboy comes out.
Mm.
I think this is gonna suck.
Sadly, I actually have to agree with you there. I think the Hellboy reboot is probably gonna suck. As interesting as the movie does look, I've watched the trailer again recently, and I kept thinking to myself, you know what? I think this is another one of those situations where they're doing a reboot unnecessarily, and it's gonna flop, because there's gonna be a lot of moments in the movie where I'm just gonna sit there again as a fan of comic books and movies and just go, why?
Yeah, I think it's when I look at it, I mean, some of the visuals look okay, but from a directing point of view, it's a flat movie. And the reason being is, like, when you're making a movie, you have to make it exciting. So the camera has to move around. It has to be like a lot of action. You have to have it going.
Things have to pop.
Exactly. And when I saw this trailer, every angle was like filmed like you're just standing right in front of the guy. It's boring. It's just boring. There's nothing of interest in this movie.
Well, none of the monsters look exciting. Like, think about the ones with Ron Perlman in it. You know, you had the Golden Army. You had the fucking God. What were the other ones? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Well, that and the steampunk Nazis. You had the you had the guy with the blades. I never actually watched the second movie, so I should probably do that.
Oh, Golden Army wasn't that bad. It's not as good as the first one, but it wasn't really that bad. It just kind of falls flat in certain areas. And the plot's a little...
But everything popped. It was colorful. It was vibrant. It had fun with what it had.
No, true. I'm not saying it was a bad movie. It's just certain parts fall flat. And it's really not as good as the first one. And the plot is a little bit...
Yeah, no, definitely. But here's the thing, like, with this new reboot coming out, it doesn't look fun. It doesn't look like anybody's having fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense. You know, sure, they've got the snappy one-liners and the jokes and all that, but where's the fun? You can't see the fun oozing out like you could with the other films. Yeah,
it doesn't look like it's going to be any. Now, that's probably a Guillermo del Toro thing, because he was like, he wanted to make it somewhat colorful and very campy. The jokes were kind of, you know, almost like dad jokes, but they worked in that movie. They worked at that time. Mm-hmm. So absolutely, it all worked. And so this one, I'm not looking forward to it. But there again, I mean, it could easily get outshined by Shazam. However, even if that movie would leave a bad taste in your mouth, you only have to wait 2 more weeks on the 26th, because when the 26th hits, of April. It's fucking Avengers Endgame.
True.
Everything will change. The fucking snapping meme will probably go away with
it's kind of already
snap.
But real quick before we move on from that, before we move further into that, I just want to. We have a Streamlab. Joseph Corbin for $3. The Aquaman movie needs a spin-off in which the trench attack a cruise ship and some passengers struggle to survive. That right there sounds like quite possibly the most intense, gnarly fucking origin story for a character that really shouldn't have that as their origin story in the DC universe and shit. But to be honest, I actually would be down for that. A fucking horror movie within a DC, well, within a comic book multiverse. Yes, please give me that. I would love to see this shit. That would be a fucking amazing.
I guess we probably should talk about Aquaman. I did see it while I was out and about in Mexico. I took my mom to it, and I will say I did thoroughly enjoy it. I also want to say I didn't give a rat's ass about Ocean Master, but I fucking love Black Manta. I was super compelled with this guy. I want, huh?
No, I'm agreeing with you.
I wanted Black Manta to be the center focus because you don't like him. He's a bad guy. He killed a bunch of people, but at the same point, I mean, like he had a reason to go after Aquaman because his father died. And Aquaman was he wasn't being a very much of a hero. He wasn't saving people and all that. Just left him. Like,
okay. That is quite possibly one of the best villain origin stories that DC has actually shown on screen. It shows that Black Manta was already a dick. He's been a dick. He was raised by a dick. And then Aquaman does a dick move and refuses to save his dickish father, who just launched a fucking rocket in his face, mind you. and it's fucking brilliant. What I loved about that scene is it's one of those moments where a hero's actions or inactions will probably have consequences later down the line. For example, Batman accidentally created his greatest enemy in the Joker when on that scaffolding he kept pursuing, unfortunately, Jack Napier in the Red Hood costume and everything like that, and to try and actually prove that he wasn't actually a bad guy, trying to take off his helmet or whatever, he trips on his fucking cape and falls in the vat of acid. And then, of course, we eventually get the Joker. That's how the Joker came about. That is pretty much considered now canon. That is the Joker's official origin story of going from regular fucking dude who was just technically a bank robber and a brilliant chemist to most terrifying criminal mastermind Gotham City has ever had the unfortune of knowing and shit. And it's because of Batman's actions. But in this one, because of Aquaman's inaction, all of a sudden, we have one of Aquaman's greatest fucking villains now pursuing him with one of the most intense motivations that somebody in that sort of situation could actually have. You killed my father. You didn't have to, but you did because you're a fucking scumbag. And now we see a jackass getting fucking even better, and he has the equipment proven to fuck up Aquaman, and it's just like, God damn it, Black Manta was done justice. I loved it. It was amazing. Ocean Master fell flat for me.
Well, I was sort of slightly taken out of the movie because when Ocean Master puts on his helmet, his eyes move like on Deadpool's mask, and I'm like, really, seriously, you're doing that? That's very cartoony.
It was very, very weird. It was very cartoony. Another thing I want to point out, I don't think if you noticed the eyes, you should have noticed the fins on his helmet also slightly moved.
Yeah, I noticed that. It was weird. I did want to also say, going back to Black Manta, because I fucking love this guy. His outfit was fucking menacing. And also, at the same time, it was silly as hell with the fucking laser eyes. I loved it, though. I love the silliness of him. I also love the threatening appeal of him. It was so good. Definitely got to get that movie when it comes out.
Oh, by the way, I still will have this argument with a friend of mine in the comic book groups that we're part of and shit. And he believes that the guy who played Ocean Master should have actually played Aquaman. And I don't really care. I like Jason Momoa. I think he's actually great. He did a fantastic job as fucking Arthur Curry / Aquaman. I think he did an amazing job. But my buddy, he always keeps calling him Lobo in Aquaman's costume.
I can't deny that. He is essentially Lobo.
He does look like, I'm not going to hide that fact. Like, realistically speaking, if I was to fan cast Jason Momoa as any character from the DC universe, it would chances be Lobo. But he is Aquaman, and I have to say, so me and him go back and forth fighting on this shit, and like he will occasionally post pictures of I think he posted a picture of Lobo and Aquaman with Jason Momoa under Lobo, and I'm forgetting the fucking guy's name. I feel ashamed of myself for this, but whoever played Ocean Master, and they put their names on their faces underneath it. And he keeps tagging me and shit like that on Facebook. I was like, you need to fuck off, because I swear to God, and then I always give him shit because one of his favorite DC characters is Green Lantern. So I keep saying, yeah, well, at least my movie actually did good. Fucking loser.
Oh, man.
I mean, on the bright side, at least they have Danny Trejo. They can play him as Lobo.
No, that wouldn't work. No, that would not work at all.
What about John Cena?
If John Cena is going to play anybody, I would want him to play Dr. Fate.
Really?
Well, I mean, we can't see John Cena in general, so he might as well put on Nobu's helmet and fucking, you know, just butt down. You know what? That was a shit fucking joke. I apologize for that. Yeah. That is terrible. I should never attempt comedy ever again.
Here's a casting decision I didn't fucking like. It was Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange. I fucking hated that.
What?
And here's why. I think Robert Downey Jr. would have been a much better Doctor Strange.
Don't make me slap you.
My friend,
I'm just saying he has the mustache for it. Benedict Cumberbatch had to glue a beard onto him just to make it work.
I have a friend who feels the exact same way. He keeps making that exact same argument. And I'm like, I don't know. He already makes a shit ton of money with these Marvel movies. I don't think they want to give him a lot more. On top of all that, he loves playing Iron Man because he only has to be on set like for a little bit, and then the rest of it's just CG.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you this, and if you don't believe me, then you're wrong. But I'm gonna tell you this. Robert Downey Jr. was the absolute perfect cast for Tony Stark. Was he at an age that was probably better suited for late game Tony Stark, like close to retirement Tony Stark? Absolutely. But Robert Downey Jr. gave us the live action Tony Stark every Iron Man fan had been wanting, because that's the Tony Stark we love. That's the Tony Stark we know. We hate the Tony Stark comic books have been giving us for the last roughly 10 years and shit, because that's not Tony Stark. That's Marvel's interpretation of what Tony Stark is supposed to be. It's bullshit, and we fucking don't like it. So we basically just prefer reading the older Tony Stark stuff, because that was when Iron Man was great. And Robert Downey Jr. delivered exactly that. The great Tony Stark. The good Iron Man. So don't fucking sit there and tell me that he would have been a better Doctor Strange, because you clearly don't understand Doctor Strange.
No, I'm not saying.
Shut your whore mouth. No, you shut your whore mouth. You clearly don't know Doctor Strange. You clearly don't understand Doctor Strange. Benedict Cumberbatch is the physical embodiment of what I would imagine Doctor Strange actually is in the fucking movies and shit. Like, if he popped out of the pages of his comic books, Benedict Cumberbatch with a fucking goatee, that's him.
In terms of his physique, even? Because I don't mind his performance. His performance was fine. I don't mind. It's a matter of the physique. Benedict Cumberbatch is this frail, pretty boy who...
And so is Doctor Strange. Dr. Stephen Strange. Yes, Dr. Stephen Strange is not a masculine character. He was never portrayed as a masculine character. He was a fucking surgeon, the world's greatest fucking surgeon, and then he had the car accident, which damaged his hands so severely he couldn't do it anymore. In his desperation, he found himself in a fucking goddamn temple in a Tibetan monk temple and shit like that somewhere. I don't think it was actually Tibet, but basically, you know, the whole thing that eventually found him becoming Doctor Strange, the Sorcerer Supreme.
But he had muscle at least.
He works out from time to time, but he's not like, you know, a ripped dude. He's not going to ever look like fucking Steve Rogers.
But he had shoulders, and Cumberbatch had the fake shoulders.
That was an artist's rendition of how fucking Doctor Strange is supposed to look. Realistically speaking, Doctor Strange is supposed to be a very unassuming man. Why? Because Doctor Strange, time and time again in the comic book, shows us that physical strength means nothing when dealing with magic. He has the body of a mage. Does he have a physically fit body? Maybe if he was, you know, a runner's body, something along those lines. But that's it.
Fair enough.
Look, I'm just saying, like, Robert Downey Jr. probably could have played a pretty awesome Blade. I mean, I'm just saying he can pull it off.
What?
Wait, no, hold on a second. I want to get back to that joke, but I just started laughing because I read the chat. Joseph Kerwood saying, have we ever seen Brockus nerd so hard before? Kinda. I mean, this is tame compared to what I've done in the past.
God, is Wesley Snipes still in jail? Because we need a fourth Blade movie.
No, we don't.
See, the Blade movies I thought were really good, but they're also the same reason, like, when everyone says, well, we got our first, like, black superhero, look at Black Panther. It was amazing. Like, motherfucker, did you forget about Blade? Everyone forgets about Blade.
Why does everybody forget about Blade?
Well, because they don't want to think about it. Also, they'll say, well, technically it's a vampire horror movie, not a Marvel superhero. It's in the fucking same universe. And he existed back in the 90s. All right? And no one complained that he was black. No one gave a shit that he was black. It was never brought up that he was black.
That's because the one black character in the movie who turns out to actually be gay makes several complaints about it. And it's great. I love it because no one in the audience has to make the commentary. The movie's making the fucking commentary itself.
Yeah. No, everyone like with
Tropic Thunder was such a good movie. It is such an underrated comedy.
It's a strange
Thunder. Yeah. Why does that sound familiar?
That's where that movie's from. That's what that picture is from. It's Tropic Thunder.
I'm not seeing the pictures. Remember, my thing is weird.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's the movie.
Here, let me check I'm checking the stream.
Okay.
Ah, yes, Robert Downey. Oh, that was the joke you're making. Okay.
I'm saying he would have been great Blade.
Stop it! You can just stop, Semaj.
What?
The world will never accept this. They might actually. It's Robert Downey Jr. They might accept it.
I would accept this.
I should probably stop bringing this. I'm probably going to get him in trouble because he tries his hardest not to talk about this movie, even though he had a blast working on it. I know that he can't because the moment
it's because of what everybody does nowadays. It's because it's like he'll get in trouble if he talks about it now.
Yeah, because he was an actor doing blackface. And he did convincingly. Look, I haven't watched much Robert Downey Jr. movies. This was one of the first ones I ever saw. I was convinced he was black. He convinced me. I was convinced. I didn't. Got me. And then when he actually does like the white Christian kind of guy or whatever, I thought it was a black guy doing whiteface.
No, it mirrors mine. That's exactly how I thought it.
It wasn't until he did Iron Man. I went, oh wait, that's really is him.
He did Iron Man before he did Tropic Thunder. What the fuck?
Well, I didn't watch him in order. Okay, I didn't believe that. Look, all right. When Iron Man came out, I didn't see it because I think the last superhero movie before that was the Hulk or one of the Hulk movies, and I was severely disappointed in those movies.
No, the last superhero movie that Marvel had attempted was an X-Men movie, but you probably were so disappointed with Hulk that you were just like, never again. The first movie the MCU introduced was Iron Man in 2008. Later that year or the following year was The Incredible Hulk, which was a vastly better movie than what we got with fucking Eric Bana.
Yeah, all I know is that the movie prior to this disappointed me. It may have been X-Men 3. That was a horrible movie. I
It
mean,
really
even
was.
though the weirdest thing is, I think I remember rewatching it not too long ago. X-Men 3 wasn't. It was a far, oddly enough, a more accurate X-Men movie, but it was a way worser X-Men movie, if that's even a word. I mean, as a movie, it's terrible. As a superhero movie, based on the comics, it's a little bit more accurate. Because they actually had, and they fucking had Sentinels in that movie. They were
True.
holograms, sure, but they had actual Sentinels.
Yeah.
Like I didn't see the movie until it came out on DVD, and when I watched it, I was like, "That's a Sentinel head. We're gonna get Sentinels." And then when we finally did get Sentinels, they were these really whack ass Sentinels with like big turbines in their chests. Like, what the fuck is that? I want a Sentinel.
Well, here's the thing. X3 was written by actual fans of the comic books. And you can tell because there's a lot of little Easter eggs hidden throughout the movie of people who clearly have read the comic books and such. For example, there's a hallway scene where Wolverine, I think, is being confronted by Storm. In the background are the Cuckoos.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yep.
Well, I think it was also X3 that introduced Beast, and they had Kelsey Grammer from Frasier to do Beast. I thought,
Yes, that was actually a fucking fantastic casting right there.
I couldn't believe. Yes, I didn't even think about Beast, and then I see him like, oh, this guy's great.
Yeah, when I saw that Kelsey Grammer had been casted for Beast, I sat back and I thought to myself, what's that going to look like? And then I watched the movie, and I saw the movie alone. Nobody wanted to go and see X3 with me, and my friends who were seeing X3 that night were in a completely different theater. I didn't have much of a choice, and it was last minute, so I was just like, fuck it. But as I'm seeing the movie, and it's the scene with Beast, I'm just like, I swear to fucking God, it's like the actual cartoon Beast from the 90s cartoon come to life. This is the most brilliant fucking casting of a fucking X-Men character ever. Give me more of this shit.
Yeah, it was. And, like, I want to like the movie, but it's just a bad movie. Like, they introduce a lot of things in there, like mutant power grades or something like that. Like, I can't. It was a complicated thing. You have to see the movie again to.
Was this the movie with the Cure mutant?
Yep.
Yeah.
There were a lot of X-Men movies. I watched some of them. The one with the Cure and the little civil war between the mutants.
Yep.
And the plastic guns to go against Magneto.
Yeah.
That one? That was the one?
Yeah.
The one. Yep.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it was still fucking terrible. The whole movie was a goddamn train wreck from beginning to end, and that was finally the movie that made me re-examine and look at X1 and X2 and realize, as movies, they're actually not bad. But as a comic book movie, something that's supposed to actually be, what is it, loyal to the source material and stuff. Mm-hmm. It fucking falls hard. Yeah. It's not a good X-Men movie. But if it was just a movie, just a regular movie, like this is, inspired by the X-Men or inspired by comic books, it's a great fucking movie. And I still stand by X2 is one of the best fucking comic book movies you will probably ever get, even though putting it in the same category as a comic book movie is actually kind of an atrocity because realistically speaking, it was bad as an official comic book movie and stuff, but as like an action movie, as a sci-fi type movie, oh, it's fucking great. It's fantastic.
Well, you have to remember that it is very dated because back then to make something like a superhero movie would cost a lot of money, and movies didn't make that kind of money back then because they would make movies mostly for like American audiences and Canadians and all that kind of stuff. It wouldn't make like global movies. I mean, it would take a while for these movies to reach the other part of the world. And now we have tons of money to do it, to do this kind of stuff with. But they didn't have it. So they had to work within budget. Sure. And that means that the team had to wear the same uniform, even though the whole theme of the X-Men's individuality. I mean, everyone has their own costume. There's a unified color scheme that has to play a factor, but overall it's different. I mean, Storm, she's like all white. She doesn't really have much, and the only connecting there, she has the X-Men logo on her. Like Jean Grey is more of a brown and blue, and Wolverine and Logan have like opposite color palettes, but that's because they represent two different sides of the coin.
True. But you've also got to remember that the individuality with the X-Men only came about in the 80s when Chris Claremont took on the project. Yes.
Yeah, and prior to that, they were uniformed.
They were very uniformed, and then even after that, not inside the same Chris Claremont universe and everything, but X-Men comic books that sprouted from that popularity of the Uncanny X-Men and that universe that Claremont fucking brilliantly gave us and shit. We had several spin-off stories, and even in the 616, a lot of the characters wore very similar uniform-looking type costumes. Again, it had its own individuality, but not by much. Even look at the Ultimate Universe. Once again, we see them wearing pretty much a uniform. They're all wearing the same leather black fucking costume. The only difference is that the little bit of color that each one of them have to it is, vastly different. Like Wolverine's costume is short-sleeved and actually has claw marks that go across the torso and over the shoulders. Cyclops has a very similar costume, except his has a blue stripe that goes down his left chest and then across the abs.
Are you saying blue, or are you trying to say yellow?
In the Ultimate story, they had a blue stripe and a yellow stripe.
My bad. I lost track. Because the problem with some of these is the fucking timelines and different books and different. It gets confusing after a while. Then of course you have to think about things like multiverse theories and whatnot, which I guess would tie us nicely into the whole Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse. What you guys think of that?
I never actually watched it, although I'm probably gonna have to calm down. I was trying to take my niece to go and see it, but I couldn't find the time to actually do so because I had other things going on. So it just kind of fell apart. But I do plan on actually going and seeing the movie sometime soon. I just don't know when exactly. But I have heard brilliant things. I love Miles Morales. I still question why they did that to Gwen Stacy in the story. Why?
Wait, what? I mean,
They aged Gwen Stacy down to be the same age as Miles Morales, even though in the comic books she's not. And they also altered her hair drastically to where now she has that sort of
right, the little like side cut thing that's explained in the story. There's a reason.
It's dumb though. It's like, okay, why couldn't you just keep it to what it's supposed to be? Gwen Stacy is from an alternate universe. So is Miles Morales. And they also so happen to fucking, collide with one another. But in this one, the way the trailers make it seem, Miles Morales just got his superpowers. He lives in the exact same universe as this Peter Parker, as this Spider-Man. And so does Gwen Stacy. And it just so happens Gwen Stacy goes to the exact same school as Miles Morales, is in the same fucking grade and all that shit. And I'm just like, why did you have to alter these two characters so much like this? Did you not have faith in the actual source material?
Well, okay. Do you want me to spoil it?
No.
It's
just okay. I have questions.
I will. All right. There are answers. Let me tell you, there are answers. The one thing you have to keep in mind going into this, because it is the Spider-Verse multi-universe kind of a thing. Even this movie, which is based on the comics, it's supposed to be its own thing, set in its own universe. It's a cinematic thing that's separate from the comics. But if they wanted to, they can go into the comics. So all these characters are different versions of them. And you're right, Gwen Stacy is much younger. She's actually about the same age as Miles Morales. And that's because in her universe that she's of that age. She's different. It's the same reason why Spider-Man, there was a Spider-Man in Miles' world. It's just like from the comics, and Spider-Man dies, but he's in his like 20s or something. This Spider-Man that from his universe who comes into Miles' world, he's in his like mid 30s. So that's because it's a different timeline and all that. And even Penny Parker, the little Japanese girl, which I'll get into in a second, but her too, she's a different age than the character from the comics and from the Spider-Verse one. And she's even, everything else about her is sort of different. So I get it, but at the same time, it makes sense.
Fakis is once again trying to troll me. Look, I I stopped paying attention to Spider-Man comic books several years ago when Dan Slott was just completely fucking just running a train over and over again on Peter, screwing him every fucking chance he could in the worst possible ways, and making Spider-Man, who was once one of the greatest fucking characters that Marvel has ever given us, into one of the biggest losers that Marvel has ever had the just fucking displeasure of presenting to the world and stuff. So I stopped paying attention to a lot of what was going on with the Spider-Man comic books. I hated the art in the Spider-Gwen comic books, and Miles Morales at the time didn't have his own book, but did eventually get something going on where apparently Gwen Stacy and Miles Morales started dating. Now, again, Gwen Stacy is college age in the comic books. Miles is still 16. This was really creepy. But it was very short-lived because they shared a kiss in 2 separate books, but they never really actually dated. As far as I could tell, as far as I could read in the books, they never actually dated. And I think it's because the world lost, a lot of fans lost their shit at the age difference and kept saying things akin to, what if Gwen Stacy was the 16-year-old and Miles Morales was the 20-something-year-old? Do you think this would be okay? Are you fucking kidding me? You're showing your double standards. So Marvel eventually nixed that whole thing. So their dating thing was probably a 3-issue fucking scenario. It didn't really go very far. It didn't last long. And the kiss was a spur of the moment type thing with fucking Gwen Stacy. Again, this is as far as I remember, as far as I actually did read, because I actually did kind of keep up with certain controversies in Marvel at the time, but stopped paying attention shortly after. As far as I know now, neither of them are actually dating anybody. But still, very fucked up.
Yeah, I could see that. I wouldn't worry about it. You have nothing really to fear when it comes to this movie, so you can watch it and enjoy. I know some people have been criticizing it because they've been saying how it's got like some feminist undertones. I didn't really see it. Some of them was mostly criticism lodged against Aunt May when we got to see her because she was kind of I guess I'll leave it from there because it's not a big thing, but she's different, let's say. And when you go see the movie,
funky.
Look, no, I mean Aunt May is as faithful to Aunt May as can be, but there are some differences, and it's not major differences, but you'll be like, why? But you have to remember this isn't the same one. I mean, in this universe, like when Spider-Man in Miles's world, dies, he's blonde. He's in his 20s and he's blonde. It's a bit weird.
That is weird. Yeah.
So, and apparently, I think he's also like kind of a bit of a dumb blonde. But he's got good heart, and that's why he does what he does. So,
all right.
So it's kind of neat.
And for the record, anyone who might be thinking that I was actually again, I will say this once more. I love Miles Morales. He brings what made Spider-Man such a great character back into the Spider-Man comic books. He's young. He's still learning things. His uncle in one of the Miles Morales annual books that they had released late last year, his uncle, who is actually a criminal, but he's also a good guy, which is, kind of interesting, but funny. His uncle, it gives him a bunch of money. And he says, keep this, use it for whatever you want, blah, blah, blah. It's your money, all that stuff. And he gives it to Miles as a gift. I forget his uncle's actual name right now. Later on in that issue, Miles is conflicted because he knows what his uncle does, and it's not necessarily legal. And he doesn't really feel comfortable with the money. So he starts asking his friend, like, hey, what should I do? But then crazy fucking shit starts happening and stuff. And at the end of the book, Miles eventually, after, learning doing the right thing is much better and much more progressive, blah, 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 all that stuff. He eventually goes back to his uncle at the end of the issue, and he actually gives him back the money. And he says, no offense, I really appreciate, the money and all that stuff. And I love you. And I'll always love you. But I can't take this knowing where it comes from. I just can't. And he He eventually walks away, and his uncle understands. And he respects him for it. And that's the kind of shit that I fucking love about Miles. I'm like, yes, this is Miles done right. The throwing it in my face, black guy Superman, black guy Spider-Man, that bullshit, get the fuck out of here. Just give me a good, well-written character like Spider-Man with Miles Morales, and I'm going to love the guy. Here's the thing, though. Get rid of the Spider-Man fucking image. Like, for fuck's sake, stop with the thousands of Spider-Men. We only need one Spider-Man, and that's Peter Parker. Okay? And then, of course, we also have future Spider-Man in Miguel something or other in Spider-Man 2099. That's fine. That's far distant future kind of shit. And then, of course, we have Ben Reilly, the clone of Peter. Fine. Scarlet Spider's okay. But at the same time, we don't need fucking Spider-Man on Spider-Man on Spider-Man on Spider-Man, Spider-Woman, Spider-Woman, all that shit. Just give us different characters. One of the things that made Silk more interesting than Spider-Woman or Spider-Gwen is the fact that her fucking name is Silk.
Remember when superheroes used to be unique and they had powers, tailored to them? I mean,
that, yeah.
and the whole, like, the thing is with Spider-Man, and they're saturating the market with all these different characters. It's sort of like, I miss Spider-Man. I just want Spider-Man. I know there's a lot of characters. That's fun and all, but it used to be unique. I mean, if everyone got the super soldier serum, what's the importance of Captain America? I mean, what's his uniqueness? It's nothing really there except for maybe his personality, and that might not be enough.
Exactly.
So it's, what's going on with Spider-Man in this little identity crisis, if you will, it's kind of annoying. And
it's going on not just with Spider-Man, but with pretty much everything at this point.
Well, also in some of the Spider-Man things. Last I heard, the Vulture had he set up a gang of vultures, so he gave them all the same technology and stuff like that to hunt down Spider-Man. Like, oh, well, even the villains don't get to be unique anymore. Now they all get like groups and shit. But the nice thing about the Spider-Verse thing is it was like an event thing. All right, you had to do this because you all needed to survive because you're all being hunted down, which was the original Spider-Verse idea, and they all teamed up to fight against their attackers, and then they go back to their universe. All right, it was fun. It was an event. Everyone enjoyed themselves, and then you off and did your own thing. But now they're all doing their own comics, and so we have Silk, we have Spider-Gwen, we got then Gwen had her own thing because we got Gwenpool.
We have Spider-Woman, and Gwenpool is not actually Gwen Stacy. It's a girl that's named Gwendolyn who just so happens to be called Gwenpool because her name is literally Gwendolyn. It's still not Gwen Stacy though.
Yeah, true enough. Who's a character I legitimately actually like?
Gwenpool?
Yeah, you might find it weird, and that's because look, they changed writers and creative teams, and they gave it more of an anime style. They gave the title over to this Japanese developing company, and they made the comics. It had much more of an anime feel to it. That's because they were Japanese making American comics, and they were writers as well. And it was actually a lot more creative. It was less zany and more like someone actually struggling to actually be a superhero.
You know who was better though?
What?
Winona Wilson, the actual Fempool.
Oh yeah, I miss her. And oh fuck, it's been a while since I've seen this because Deadpool had his own event, and that was equally ridiculous.
Yeah. Deadpool. He had his. This is actually probably where we get the fuckload of Spider-Man characters and shit. So there was the clones issue that went down back in the, I want to say, 90s, late 90s, early 2000s with Spider-Man comic books, where there were a fuckload of Spider-Man. Okay. This probably is the reason why we eventually got the inspired version of Deadpool traveling throughout the multiverse and meeting different versions of himself throughout the multiverse, such as the zombie universe, where we get Headpool, a literal severed head that talks to Deadpool, and the way he travels is by biting onto an indestructible bracer on Deadpool's arm. We also get Fempool, the actual gender bent in an alternate universe version of Wade Wilson, called Winona Wilson, and yeah, she's the same shit. She's a blonde who's scarred from head to toe, just like Deadpool is. She also is self-aware, just like all the other Deadpools are, and she's overly horny, constantly trying to have sex with any cute boy she meets, and sometimes girls. It was weird. It was wacky. I didn't get it, but at the same time, you know, it wasn't too bad. It sucked. Don't get me wrong. It actually did suck. That whole thing was terrible. Like, realistically, that was too much Deadpool. But yeah, somebody actually pointed out in the chat, Miles' uncle's name is Aaron Davis. So yeah, it's Uncle Aaron. And then we also have a Streamlabs from Joseph Chrome for $3. The Dexstar Red Lantern Cat origin story would beat all blockbuster records. Love, violence, injustice, and tragedy. It'd win Best Picture easily. Here's the thing. Do you guys know about Dexstar's origin story?
I know about Dexstar. Also, the DC would be accused of copycatting, pun intended, from Captain Marvel. I don't know if you guys have heard the early reviews for Captain Marvel. Have you guys heard about them?
Oh, her name was Wanda Wilson, not Winona Wilson. I thought it was Winona for some reason. Anyways, continue.
Yeah, I tried looking up Winona Wilson, and I got an obituary for some old bitch.
So, the early reviews have come out for Captain Marvel, and they all say the same thing. They say they love the cat. All right. If the cat is the one thing that you say positive about the movie, this isn't going to be good. Also, if the cat's going to be the breakout hit, DC might have a reason to make a Dexstar movie.
Well, DC already has reason to make a Dexstar movie. As I pointed out, every single time DC and Warner Brothers tries to push another comic book movie, they almost constantly have to push only Batman and Superman. And the reason why is because it is a known fact. When I say fact, I mean I've pretty much figured this out. No one's ever outright said it or anything like that, but it's something that is very, very obvious. DC and Warner Brothers do not actually believe or trust in their own properties and think that they actually have enough of a fan base to make gangbusters when it comes to blockbuster sales or when it comes to movie ticket sales and merch sales and all kinds of stuff like that when it comes to any character that is not Batman or Superman. And the reason why is because for decades, Superman was the top-selling character from DC until the 80s when it turned and became Batman. Batman, very quickly, because of The Dark Knight Returns and the new version of how Batman was being portrayed in the comic books, Batman became the top-selling comic book character. So there is this massive fan base for both Superman and Batman fans, and this constant debate of Superman versus Batman, which is absolutely fucking ridiculous, to the point where DC and Warner Brothers, they don't think that anyone will be able to sell or be better than either of those characters, which is why even in Suicide Squad, we got a fucking guest appearance by characters from the Superman movie and Batman himself, which is why a known Shazam villain is actually going to be making his next appearance in the sequel to Man of Steel instead of the upcoming Shazam movie. This is what is going on. Warner Brothers and DC do not have faith in their own properties. And yet, Wonder Woman did much better than any movie that they have done so far. Aquaman is, in my opinion, better than even Wonder Woman. And the reason why is because it doesn't suffer the same thing that Wonder Woman does. Once you get to the trench scene, everything is downhill from there. It speeds up way too fast. The villain is a bit of a letdown and overly CGI to the point where you're like, what the fuck? I mean, you did better than in Justice League, but still, I'm like, eh.
Well, I mean, I like to hope that they've learned their lesson and that moving forward they'll make good stuff. I am looking forward to the next Suicide Squad movie. One being because like James Gunn is directing it, and you know he did a great job with Guardians of the Galaxy. So who knows?
Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is still a letdown for me.
It is a letdown. I think I blame Disney for that more so than anyone else, just because there's too many fucking jokes.
It really was. I have to agree with what Joseph Kerwin says here. Captain Boomerang was the best part of Suicide Squad. 100% agree.
What the fuck was up with the unicorn?
The unicorn?
The stuffed unicorn. The toy that he carries around with him everywhere. What the fuck was up with that?
I think there was an inside joke we missed because they did cut out a lot of Captain Boomerang's lines.
Yeah, but they kept 2 scenes with him and his toy unicorn.
Again, there was probably stuff that we missed that actually explains the unicorn that was cut out, and then they just kept the other scenes because they had already filmed everything the fuck else.
Okay, well, and that could be. All I know is that the fucking I don't grasp it. I don't know why.
It's Captain Boomerang, dude. The guy is fucking weird in general, and I loved the portrayal that they gave with fucking Captain Boomerang, because Captain Boomerang, realistically, he doesn't give a fuck. He's a villain. He's a villain for the Flash, and his weapon of choice is a boomerang. I don't think you're going to expect some kind of maniacal, world-conquering kind of fucking shit with him. He's just a drunken Australian with a shitload of boomerangs and the wants to kill things. You don't need much else with that kind of character.
I suppose so. All I know is I don't know. I didn't know what to expect with this guy. I tried to figure it all out. And yes, Lionel, I see that you fucking dropped out. I see you're in the chat. I don't know what's going on with you. Smack your internet around.
His internet apparently shit the bed. He's going to try to get back on very shortly. But no, yeah. Honestly, Captain Boomerang was the best part about Suicide Squad, which is kind of sad when you think about it, because you would think that Margot Robbie's portrayal of fucking Harley Quinn would be considered the best part. No, not really. I mean, it was very close to how Harley Quinn is, but I personally think that was just a terrible. This is what I think Harley Quinn would be like in real life. No, that's not.
There was a scene where she wore her classic clown outfit from the cartoon. Very briefly flashback with her talking about her and Joker and all that stuff. And surprisingly, it was cringy to watch, but I think it's because it was in the movie. It was in this movie.
Yeah.
It's hard to say.
That Joker is still. I needed more of that character in order for me to accept it. But truth be told, I don't think I would have accepted that version of Joker. I need the laugh. I need the Joker laugh. If I don't get the Joker laugh, then you're not the Joker. You're just some faggot with fucking pale skin, green dyed hair, tattoos all over your fucking body and shit, posing as the Joker. Give me the Joker laugh, or you're not the Joker. All right, fuck off.
Sounds
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Deadshot was actually pretty accurate to being Floyd Lawton. Not gonna lie about that.
My love for Will Smith is dwindling pretty fast. And speaking of which, on May 24th, Aladdin comes out in theaters. I from what I've seen in the pictures, I'm not looking forward to this movie. This is going to be a bad movie.
What is?
Aladdin, the live action movie.
Oh yeah, but it's a Disney live action movie. They're all bad.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, I mean, they need to stop adapting their animated movies into live action. They need to fucking make original content, or just do something on, I don't know, just try something different.
So wow, I'm not sure how to feel about this. The Bitching Witch is informing us. Have you seen the new teaser picture of Birds of Prey, Harley Quinn? She has fucking Bruce engraved on her necklace charm. Now, let me just go ahead and say, understandably so, even in the comic books, Harley Quinn had a brief amount of time where she did have a legitimate kind of thing for Bruce Wayne / Batman. Fine. It's actually her interest in Bruce is really for Batman, not actually Bruce. So that's very fucking confusing, first of all. Second of all, I am also tired of DC consistently trying to make Batman / Bruce Wayne the epitome of manliness, the guy that every chick wants to hook up with. Because look, Talia al Ghul makes sense. Selena Kyle makes sense also. Fuck you, DC, for ruining that. Poison Ivy makes sense because people, despite everything that you fucking believe you know about Poison Ivy, she's not a lesbian, she's bi. Harley Quinn makes sense. Again, same thing. She's actually bi. These characters wanting to hook up with Batman makes sense because they're all characters that were introduced in his universe. The fact that he does in the TV show as well as the comic books also have a small amount of time where he does have a relationship with Zatanna. I still ship the fuck out of Zatanna and Constantine. Fight me.
I mean, I'm not as much of a Constantine fan as you are, so I won't bother. I can't seem to find the picture. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. It probably does. I just don't know where it is. I tried looking for it. So I tried. We'll see.
Oh, good. Joseph Curran for $3. Tattooing damage on a character's head is how you let us know they have a screw loose. Okay, yeah, that's sure. That's what DC was going for. Well, you see, it's clearly written on his head.
She's clearly damaged. Yeah.
That's where I step in and I slap whoever fucking came up with that right across the face.
Yeah, maybe I should save this for the next time. We'll bring Magnus on. We'll talk about the Bumblebee movie because I know he probably has a few things he wants to say about it.
Ooh, you know what? Actually, we'll bring on Magnus. We'll try to get Igor if his sleep schedule is back to the way it was at one point. I don't think it is, but it might be. And maybe Red Robot. Just get all the Transformers big robot fans in this bitch.
Exactly. Hey, Pinoid. He's in the chat, man. Hey. I'm back from Mexico. Somehow I survived.
Somehow he survived.
Oh my god. Those 3 days were some of the worst of my life.
We were supposed to talk about something else, but we never did.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, we got carried away. Oh, the other thing, there's a few other things to talk about in Mexico I forgot to mention, but we can talk about that later on a future stream.
Sure.
But yeah, I'll save this because I was surprised when I found out they said if this movie is a success, then yes, you will get a Beast Wars movie. And I thought, fuck you, because then I found out that Bumblebee is a flop. I'm like, oh no, my Beast Wars, no. But then I'm still waiting to hear the numbers from China, so that I might still get my Beast Wars movie. We'll see.
It's Hollywood just needs to stop, truth be told. I'm really as much as I do love the idea of a lot of properties and things that I was a fan of when I was a kid, as much as I love the idea, let's get this movie and let's get that movie. At this point, I'm kind of like, you know what? Just stick to what's been successful so far. Just keep going with the MCU for a little bit longer. I guess attempt to salvage the DCEU. Maybe continue with a better Star Trek show because, let's be honest, STD is pissing everybody off.
I think they're hoping that this Picard TV series is going to do well. I don't think it will, considering that we found out that the writers are the same people from who worked on Discovery. Yeah, this isn't going to do well. Just because you bring back one actor doesn't mean it's going to do good. No, I think they pissed off the fans way too much.
Yeah, the fans are really losing faith in almost everything that, oh my God, why? Bitching Witch actually sent me pictures of the,
guys hear me?
Yes.
Finally, fucking hell, I hate this goddamn shit. Fucking hell.
Oh, I'm sure it hates you too. What was that there, Barkus?
She sent me pictures of Harley Quinn Birds of Prey version. And yeah, she legitimately has a dog tag, the bone that you would normally use as a dog tag, but she has it legitimately says Bruce on it. And Her outfit is just
trashier than Starfire's in that Titans movie.
literal trash. Actually, I'm looking at this thing. It is literal trash. It is basically she took plastic wrapping and plastic paper that you would normally see at streamers and shit for decorations for celebrating and stuff like that, put it through a shredder, and then hot glued that bitch all together to make some kind of weird sleeve sweater thing. It just looks terrible. Whoever keeps doing this needs to be fired.
Puts a whole new meaning to the term cum dumpster. No? Nothing?
No,
No.
no,
Okay.
No.
Okay.
not gonna work. Not gonna work.
This is what I want to do to
I was
Hollywood
thinking
right now.
trash, dumpster. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I brought this up because we were talking about dumpster fires and things on fire. I thought, well, you know, I feel like Disney's about to go on fire because who was it? I think it was Bob Iger or whatever who had admitted that the Marvel comics are not doing well and that the Star Wars movies are not doing well. This is the head honcho who said this. And when I heard about this, I went, oh, good God. So when the head honcho says these aren't doing well, what exactly do you think is going to happen with the people who run it? The people at Lucasfilm who make the Star Wars movies? Your boss said your movies suck.
Yeah.
All right.
Get fired.
Well, it could mean that. I don't know. Well, not Kathleen Kennedy. She's been. They say she's going to still be there for like another 3 years. However,
God.
Well, yeah, everyone thought like she was going to get fired, but however,
Any way we can repeal the 19th by next year, maybe we can save this.
Yeah, I don't think that.
Here's the thing. I think that she's there, but I think that's more of a legal thing. It's like she has to be there for a certain amount of time. I don't think she does anything. She's there in name only, and she cashes in a check. I think it's up to the other people there that run it. With that said, though, they did release a picture of the writers' room of all the people who work on the Star Wars movies, and people looked up their credibility, and they've all done like maybe 1 or 2 episodes of a couple TV series and a couple of movies that kind of flopped. They were like indie fan movies, or not fan movies, but indie movies that are on big screens.
Kind of TV shows with this.
I'm trying to remember what. Like, I think it was like. I think it was like 10 people, and they all had like different TV show movies. Like I think it was like sitcoms, and I think one did a Big Bang Theory episode. Fucked. Yeah, well, see, these are the people who are writing it. All right, I have to double check it. But yeah, they don't have they're just very unqualified people to be running the show. Is what I'm saying, and they're the ones in charge. I don't know how you're going to fix this. Because I don't know how the contracts work. I don't know if they have to be there for a certain amount of time. So
okay, which set of movies are we talking about? Are we talking about the Marvel or the Star Wars movies?
Star Wars. Marvel's fine. Marvel's okay.
Yeah. Okay. Because it was fucked when they started the reboots in the first place and claimed that everything that happened in the video games, the books, and the shows never fucking happened. That was their biggest fucking mistake. Pretending none of that shit never fucking happened. You have an expanse of lore that they could have played off, fucking smartly in this shit. They could have tied it back to all sorts of things if they just bothered to fucking do their research. But they were too lazy to do that.
Yeah, I mean, basic research would have gone a long way.
Because basic research could at least give these shitty sitcom writers a fucking chance at making a decent film without Kathleen Kennedy's lesbian ass diking over everything.
Is she a lesbian?
I don't know. She looks like one.
Okay, all right.
There's a strong argument that she's a lesbian just because everything she's given us, the continuous push of nothing but female empowerment and female fucking morally driven characters and all kinds of shit like that. Like, honestly, it does kind of come off as a bit like, you know, she's a lesbian.
She's probably one of those lesbians who says she's a lesbian, but then she goes to fuck guys every now and then.
Maybe. Who fucking knows? I don't know Kathleen Kennedy. I don't know what her fucking personal life is. I'm just guessing. at this point.
Th-
Semaj, I have, at the request of Bitching Witch, sent you all 3 pictures that she sent me of Harley Quinn. You can go ahead and show that on the stream. if you
Okay,
would like.
I'll look that up in a second. I did want to say that Victor ran on the chat there says they just raped Star Wars for the merchandising.
They did. They
And
really
I'm
did.
like, yeah, I have a hard time denying that.
You know who's behind it all, though? It was the
What?
fucking Porgs.
The Porgs.
The Porgs. They did it. They did all of it. The prequels.
Why do I know that name?
The shitty stories that we've been given for ever since Star Wars Episode 7. It's all the Porgs' fault. Those motherfuckers.
Fucking Porg. Why is that familiar? Hold
Those
on.
are the
Let
cute
me.
creatures that they brought us in Episode 8.
What the? Okay, what
They
Porg?
were supposed to be those cute little things.
Oh
Yes.
God! What the fuck is that? What the
It's a
fuck
porg.
is that?
They thought they would sell. They
That
thought-
looks like Donald Duck raped a rabbit, and then it just got tossed into a fucking. I don't know. It looks like fucking Purdue had its way with it.
I think the best part about the porg in that movie with the porgs is when Chewbacca got one and roasted it and ate it over a fire.
No, he didn't eat
Well,
it.
at least it fucking
He felt
died.
guilty, so he didn't eat the Porg.
But didn't he just give the meat to the other porgs?
No, they didn't even eat it either. He just basically killed and fucking cooked the Porg for no goddamn reason because nothing and no one ate that damn thing.
Well, I
Right.
know that Wookiees have, I think, 8 stomachs, and they need to have they need to have 8 square meals a day, which means he probably was eating at least some of the porks
There's a good
because
chance.
you
But
have to, or else your metabolism gets fucked.
The one that we saw him about to eat, though, he didn't eat that one because the Porgs kept staring at him while he was about to eat it. And I'm just thinking to myself, you better eat that thing, but he didn't. And I was just like, God damn, Chewbacca went vegan, didn't he?
Yeah, Chewbacca would have fucking eaten it.
Yeah,
And that's
the-
another fucking thing. They don't read these characters right. They don't write these characters well. They never even bother to watch the movies, it seems.
Yeah. Like, okay, first of all, why, after Han Solo's death, did Rey get a hug from Leia instead of Chewbacca, his best fucking friend? And
why is some random chick you just met like maybe like an hour or so ago? Why does she get a hug?
Yeah, and then on top of that, when asked, because you see his ship, where's Han? Why is Rey the one who's fucking telling him what happened to Han Solo? Why didn't Chewbacca actually choke up a bit and give him a bit of Wookieese and let him know what had happened to his best fucking friend? That's one fucking continuous issue that I'm having, is the fact that they keep pushing Chewbacca out to the side. Now, if it's because Peter Mayhew is incredibly old and really can't do much on screen, fair enough. But at the same time, find someone that you can actually do stuff like that with. It doesn't have to be Peter in the costume. But for fuck's sake, there are people out there that are roughly the size of Peter Mayhew. Give us something. For fuck's
Hold
sake.
on. Do Wookiees... Hold on. The grieving process in Wookiee culture is different than in other humanoid races, though. I remember this back even in Code.
Don't you fucking bring up the fucking alien race. No. It's a fantasy. Yeah, I can't.
No, I'm not trying. Okay, look. I'm not trying to give these people the benefit of the doubt. It's clear these people don't know jack shit about the fucking Wookiees, but if they were going to play that part, if they were going to have the Wookiee go through some form of grieving, let's see. Hold on. Let me see. You guys keep talking. I'm going to do some...
All right. Well, I did get the pictures, and as you can see on screen, Bruce. I'm like,
Yep.
okay, so Harley's got this necklace that says Bruce, or dog tag.
It's ridiculous.
I don't know what that's about. Maybe it's a thing in the story. Also, rumor has it that Ben Affleck is out, obviously, but they got someone else.
Joseph Kerr for $3 on Streamlabs. Star Wars Episode 9 better be 90 minutes of Kylo Ren slaughtering and forced lightning porgs. I need this now. I really want that to be the fuck. We're sorry for Episode 8, and now watch as a dark Lord or fallen Jedi just completely slaughters an entire fucking race of cute little cuddly creatures. that never should have belonged in this universe to begin with.
Yeah.
Chewbacca would have gone on a fucking rampage.
Damn right.
Chewbacca kind of did, actually.
He did?
Kinda. I say
Sorta.
kinda because he killed legitimately every single First Order soldier that came anywhere in his vicinity after fucking failing to assassinate Kylo Ren for killing Han.
And yet he couldn't fucking reach upward and get Rey and knock her down with Han.
Did Chewbacca have a life debt with Han?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. Okay, then he would have... Chewbacca would have kept killing until he himself died. A Wookiee can't live if he... A Wookiee is not allowed to live if they...
Well, here's the thing. The life debt is a bit of a stretch because, truthfully speaking, Chewbacca has actually... he fulfilled the life debt a long time ago. But Chewbacca and Han were such great friends, he just stuck. And I'm going off of the original story here, not what we were fucking given in Solo or whatever they're trying to push.
Okay, so it was repaid.
In the story, when Han actually saved Chewbacca's life in the actual expanded universe and stuff, when Han saved Chewbacca's life, he had the life debt and stuff. Way before, or sometime before Episode 4 ever happened, Han and Chewie fulfilled that life debt, but Chewie loved Han like a brother so much that he just stuck around. He was just like, I have more fun with you than anyone else. So the life debt, so to speak, was one that Chewie said wanted to fulfill himself. There was no tradition behind it. There was no blood ties or anything like that. It was just, I want to be with this guy always because he's my best friend kind of shit. Theirs was more of a brotherhood bond than anything else.
Okay.
He still killed every fucking piece of shit that came near him because, like, dude, he just watched his brother die.
Either way, they didn't do it correctly.
They really didn't.
No.
You know what was a better... You know, it was a better fucking on-screen, I just watched my brother die kind of rageful moment?
What?
In Gears of War 3, when Dom sacrifices himself and blows up the fucking the fueling plant and all that shit, and then they eventually get back to the base, and Ice-T's talking shit on Marcus Phoenix, and Marcus gets up in that character's face and pretty much screams in his face, I just watched my brother die. Like, that was far more believable and more emotional than the garbage that Star Wars has given us with Han's death.
Well, the Star Wars games were better and more emotional than the fucking Han's death.
That's true.
Like, Jesus fucking Christ, both Wookiees and both KOTOR. Well, that's not.
Victor Rand in the chat. The life debt is fulfilled by giving a Wookiee red rocket.
Oh.
No! Oh, fuck you. And then here comes UA with his comment, penis. You know what, UA? You can suck a dick. I swear to God. You're both
Suck a red
terrible.
rocket, UA.
You're both fucking terrible. Why do I watch the dump? Why do I support your channel, you sick bastard? Fuck you.
Oh, God.
The Wookiee's rage, shall we say,
But by the way, everybody, I believe the dump is going to be on tonight, so I'm just saying, after we're done here, we should definitely head over there.
Yeah, probably. We'll probably wrap it up here pretty soon because it's like, we've been at this for a while. Got a lot of nerding out to do because we haven't done this in like 2 months.
Very true.
We had to, had to get the nerdgasming out.
Oh, somebody did ask though. Did you see Magog's take on the new Star Wars? You know what? I did watch the Magog review of The Last Jedi, and it was fucking great. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. Do yourself a favor and go watch that shit. It's like 5 minutes long. It's brilliant. Best review I've ever seen of Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
All right, sounds good. It's good to do.
All right, so I think we are actually going to wrap it up because we've been going on for about 2 hours and 50 minutes at this point. We started kind of late. We started about 15 minutes late. So yeah,
I didn't even get to talk about the Dragon Ball controversy.
Dragon Ball controversy.
Oh, you didn't hear about this?
What?
I heard vaguely about it, but I stopped caring because I knew it would fizzle out because anime doesn't care.
Well, you say that.
What?
I don't know, because apparently you could say Anime Gate is officially upon us.
Is this the
And
Broly thing?
this is the Broly thing. About
Yeah.
the,
Okay, what's going on with that? Because
So-
I love anime, but I haven't been able to watch it in a long time because I'm kind of boycotting Crunchyroll.
that's totally fine. So the as you all know, a new Dragon Ball Super movie came out, and Broly, the guy from the movies, because the movies are not canon to the official storyline. They're just movies. They're just there for fun.
Until they actually did that with both Resurrection F as well as Battle of the Gods, they were made canon because what happens in the movies legitimately are the arcs in the show.
And that's a new thing with these new super movies. All right, it's very complicated, but let's just say these new movies will eventually become canon and all. But you could say, for the time being, that's officially canon until the TV shows. Anyway, Broly, a character from the older movies, is finally going to be canon. Great. Everyone loves Broly. Most people love Broly. I like Broly. I think he's an interesting character. So he's officially. Now, the voice actor who plays Broly in the English dub is a guy by the name of Vic Mignogna. I'm probably butchering his name. Now, Vic, he's been in the anime industry for a long time. His other most successful role is Edward Elric of the Elric brothers in Fullmetal Alchemist.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy's a fucking legend. He's been doing this for a long time.
He's versatile.
He's done a lot. Here's the thing. He is currently a victim of the Me Too movement. And
for what?
Well, apparently they're saying he's homophobic. And that's because he's been he goes to a lot of conventions. He does a lot of speaking roles. He did a character in an anime called Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicles, and that's
familiar.
Now that's a Clamp anime. Clamp is an all-female.
Oh God.
Okay. All right, so that's one thing. He plays like one of the guys who's very, let's say, metrosexual. He's not overly masculine, slightly feminine, but not really. So that's the kind of character he plays, and everyone's headcanon thinks that he's gay. All right, and he played this guy, and he gets asked at a couple conventions about the character being gay, and Vic, who has actually met with Clamp, the people who made it, and they said no, he's just a very flamboyant kind of guy. No, he's not gay. He's actually straight, but he just never, he's never gotten a girlfriend or anything because the story didn't have time for that. Mm-hmm. Well, okay. So he always informs people about this, but they assume he's homophobic because of it. It's like, no, even though he met the original creators and went, no, he's not gay. They think he's homophobic for that. The other reason is because he will not sign any fan art of that character being gay, because he's like, well, it's not canon and it's a bit.
It doesn't
weird.
Pay respect to the character.
Yeah, and he sort of feels that way because he likes the show and he likes the character that much, and he feels strongly about it because the creators felt strongly about this. Yeah, but he's listed as homophobic as a result of that, and there have been videos of him on YouTube and some fans who will not let go that they feel that this character is gay, and yet he is informing them that no, this is what happens. He's been very polite and patient with these people, but they will not let it go. They're convinced he's gay no matter what. This makes him homophobic.
The gay community. This is why I got away from it all.
Oh, so are you a straight man?
No, I'm still gay. I'm just no longer. No longer part of the community. I still like man ass. I still get me a man in nothing but boxer shorts and basketball shorts and
look. We don't need to hear about your mayonnaise gargling. Okay, we just need to get to the.
Just saying, it's even when you're fucking patient with these people. Even when you are giving these people the respect of a human being, they continue to spurg out and just fucking try to destroy you in every way, shape, and form just because you disagreed with them on something or because you're correcting the record on something that has been established.
it's not enough that the original creators will come out and correct people on this or that. It's not enough that the original creators of something will actually scold a fan base because of the absolute atrocious way they treated somebody who created fan art and shit like that. It's not enough that no matter what you tell these people, they, you know, well, this is how I feel about it. Okay, but that's not what's actually going on. But this is how I feel. They will never, ever fucking budge on the way they feel. And that's the reason why I fucking can't stand those people. Vic Mignogna is not in the slightest homophobic. And there's plenty of evidence of that all over YouTube of people recording him at various conventions and shit. First of all, Vic kind of comes off like he might actually be gay because his actual voice is very fucking soft, and he does dress like a, you would assume a gay man probably dresses at an anime convention when he's not in cosplay and shit. But Vic is himself not gay. Still, he hangs out with a lot of fucking fans. He actually talks with a lot of fans. If he was a homophobe, he wouldn't be caught dead in a fuckload of pictures all over the internet with characters who are very scantily dressed and they're male. Sorry, but no, homophobes actually want nothing to do with the anime community in general because they're eventually going to meet a dude in a thong.
Yeah.
As simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
The anime community will always, at some point, have a guy in a thong. There's evidence of that because of fucking Man-Fae. Everyone remembers Man-Fae.
I don't remember Man-Fae.
You don't remember the dude who was fat and hairy and dressed up like Faye Valentine?
Wait a minute. I'm getting some flashbacks. Hold on, I'm gonna do a Google search.
Yeah,
I'm getting flashbacks.
When anime conventions were actually starting to pop off, like in the early days of Anime Expo, there was a dude who went to every single anime convention in a specific area. I think it was the Southwest specifically. He went to anime convention after anime convention dressed up in a Faye Valentine costume from Cowboy Bebop, and he never shaved because he's a fat, hairy dude, and it was fucking hilarious. But one day...
There's a lot of them, Brockus.
I know.
There's a lot of them.
He eventually got banned from being able to wear his Faye Valentine costume from all anime conventions because some dude fucking had... I guess enough people complained about it because his ass was legitimately hanging out in several photos.
Oh my god, he looks like Dick Masterson.
I hate this so much. Joseph Cover for $3. Brockus, can you sign my Bromage fan art, or are you a homophobe?
Well, Brockus,
seeing as how I find men attractive, I can't even be fucking counted in the homophobic, even if I refuse. Like, so, your goddamn logic doesn't work here. I'll sign it, but I'm gonna be very upset about it.
God.
See,
all
okay.
right.
But yeah, no. How far? I wonder how far this controversy is going to go. Because if he tries to correct the record and goes, "Well, look, I talked with the authors and they said this was a thing," are they going to target Clamp about this? Because guess what Clamp is? Clamp is an all-female Japanese team of manga artists. Are they going to go after a woman-owned business, a completely woman-owned and woman-run, for correcting the record on a character just because they're not gay?
Well, they're going after the anime industry already. I mean, I think it was Dead or Alive. Was it the new games? I think it's 6 or something.
Yeah.
Where they've started changing the outfits and changing things up for a more Western audience. And I'm like, didn't you guys go through this already with like Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball? Like
the Japanese already have a hard time being persuaded to expand westward without the social justice dog shit. We don't need this shit piling on just to make it to the point where it'll be just like anime in the 90s again, where nothing's available and everything has to be pirated and horribly translated.
Yeah,
Christ.
It's not a good look, and I think they're going to go after. There's a lot to go after them for, because I mean, you got all the sexy women, the bouncy boobs, all the fan service, and don't even get me started on the lolly stuff.
I mean, all of anime in the 90s was essentially demonic or cyberpunk rape porn.
Oh man, but the anime from the 90s was just so fucking epic.
Oh, even like the badly written ones just had the best fucking animations and designs. Like, God, I remember fucking Genocyber, some of the coolest fucking designs I've ever fucking seen. Even though it's literally just a movie about two retarded girls destroying the world wherever they go.
One of my favorite, we should probably get ending up soon, but I did want to say, like, some of my favorite movies was one, Ninja Scroll. It was a fucking epic horror action movie. And the other one that oddly enough was based on a video game, Street Fighter 2, the movie. Nothing makes me want to work out more than watching that movie. It's so fucking well done. And I'm like, watching Ryu climb a mountain with his bare hands, I'm like, I fucking want to go to the gym. It's just, I don't know, something about it makes me just want to work out.
That's so weird.
Makes me want to be a fucking man.
Oh god, yeah.
And that's probably what the problem is. They've got this shit that's gonna make men want to be men, and they can't have that.
Yeah. So we are gonna go ahead and end it now because I'm fairly certain that if the dump is not already started, that they want to actually get that shit started, whatever the case is. But also on top of that, I have Monica Rial on Twitter trying to make me fucking feel, and just like, God damn it, Monica. If you don't know who that is, she's the voice actress for Bulma. She's actually one of Funimation's biggest female voice actresses. But yeah, she just tweeted out saying that recording today's Dragon Ball Super episode, which clearly is not going to air for a while, was very tough on her because the original voice actor for Bulma in Japan passed away not too long ago.
Oh.
And the recording she did today is the very last episode that the other Bulma had done.
Oh,
so
yeah.
So I think both studios, Funimation as well as Toei or whoever actually does all of the specific productions and shit like that, they had a bit of a send-off at the end of the episode for her. Anyways, on top of that, I also have fucking goddamn bitching witch in my DMs trying to make me fucking feel right now, and I'm just like, you know what? It's too many people trying to make me emotion, and I'm not having it. So we're gonna go ahead and fucking end this.
Well,
shit
Brockus,
now.
you're gonna hate what I'm gonna send you in a minute.
I hate you so much already. I fucking.
Oh, not don't worry. I'm just gonna tag you. It's terrific art. You too, Semaj. You'll love it.
Oh dear Lord! What? Oh no! Lastly, one real quick here. This character, Chila or whatever from the Broly movie, fucking Chili. I surprisingly I like her. She was a love. I don't know. Maybe it's because she's the only one that actually gave a rat's ass about Broly.
She was interesting. I thought she was a bit much, but at the same time, it was kind of necessary. I guess, yeah, she's Chili, or maybe it's Chili. Either way, the name kind of sounds familiar to me, and then I figured it out, and it's actually super nerdy, so I'm not going to get into it. I'll do it off air.
So I thought it would be something like guacamole or something.
Well, kind of. Her name is supposed to sound like chili.
Oh, okay. Well, that's some weird chili. I don't know. Also, guacamole in Mexico it's fucking amazing.
Yeah, maybe. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and end it here. I guess we're gonna have some more Semaj later on down the line.
Can you do the Jimmy thing?
What's the Jimmy thing?
You know what the Jimmy thing is. Do the fucking Jimmy thing.
That's how we sign off and everything.
Oh, we had Linda, we had Brockus, and he had me. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Bye-bye. Go away.
Thanks for watching, Cuts. Get the fucked out.